Some shows talk about one team. Other shows barely talk sports. This show will talk Packers, Brewers, and Bucks every day. Every day. It's Wisconsin Sports Daily with Steve Sparky Pfeiffer, served up by Wendy's on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network. Download the Wendy's app today.
Welcome in. It is Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up hot and fresh by our fine folks over there at Wendy's. Appreciate y'all for tuning in to broadcast live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook, baby. This is my favorite week of the year. There is not a better week during the course of the year than what you're going to sell me on right here. This is Toy Drive Week, the 19th year that I've been out here broadcasting for Children's Wisconsin and Robin's Nest. My thanks to everybody who's been out here. Rami was out here earlier with 9 to noon with John Kuhn. Mason Crosby is here in town dealing with all of this cold weather for us, doing the toy drive as well. And, of course, Mitch Thunder Nellis, who walked up to me and tried to give me a hug. And I quickly put out my arm and said, don't touch me.
It's the season of loving.
But he was out here, too. So, Mitch Nellis, Mason Crosby.
It's the season of loving.
Don't touch me. My own kid, my son always wants to give me hugs too. I'm like, once in a while we can hug, but the hugging all the time thing gets old. There we're out here. I'm out here doing it as well up until 5 o'clock. We'll be here to 6 o'clock. Kings Catering out of Oak Creek. They have their food truck. They will be here from 4 to 6 every day this week at Blaine's Farm and Fleet in Oak Creek on Rawson Avenue. Some of the best food you're going to have, food truck or otherwise. So come out here, check out King's Catering. All proceeds from the King's Catering food truck is going straight to Children's Wisconsin and Robin's Nest. He doesn't take food costs, none of that stuff. Straight up, every dollar he takes in from that food truck from 4 to 6, Monday through Friday, will go straight to Children's Wisconsin. And again, 19 years of doing this, it never gets old. Look at it this way. When a child is in the hospital and having a bad day, and your parents are down and everybody's feeling horrible about life, they get a toy, and now all of a sudden that child smiles. And not only do you make that child's life because that child is smiling, but you make that parent's day as well, seeing their child smile and forget about the pain for just a little bit. Or when they check out of Children's, when it's a birthday, when it's a holiday, Christmas is coming up, let's say, all of that. That's why we do this. We are the largest toy drive that Children's Wisconsin has each and every year. And I am very, very proud of that fact that we're able to contribute each and every year. And Robin's Nest, a great foster care arm of Children's Wisconsin. A lot of these toys will go to help those kids and those families too. So please, 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 if you are around and can help out in the Oak Creek area, Blaine's Farm and Fleet, right there off Rawson. If you're taking 94, we're just a couple minutes down the road east of 94. And feel free to step out here 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. each day. I'll be out here along with all of our great volunteers from Children's Hospital. We had a volunteer out here from Tri-City Bank as well earlier today. So we'd love to see you all out here. Lots of interviews today and Friday with Children's Wisconsin. We'll have some other interviews during the week. John Greenberg of the Admirals will be down here tomorrow. Harris Tuer, president and general manager of the Milwaukee Brewers, will be out here on Wednesday on this show at 3:30. And, of course, you. We'd love to see you, meet you, hang out with you, and chat some sports while I'm in commercial break or before or after the show. Always here to hang out. Coming up on today's show, like I said, quite a few different guests from Children's Wisconsin, which is going to be great. The botch moment of the day normally is at 2:40. We're moving that up to 2:20 today, so you definitely want to stay tuned for that. Charlie Sounds of the day remains at 3:40. Green and Gold update remains at 4 o'clock as well. I want to start off first talking about this Badgers season and how the Badgers season ended this year, and what are your expectations now coming up for next season? That is what I wanted to know to start off here. Nicolay Law Talking text line 414-677-1250, 414-677-1250. Love to see you be a part of it. You can also participate on the chat, the YouTube Dugout chat, or on X. Follow us on social media at WI Sports Radio. In fact, if you want to donate online, you can do that as well for the toy drive, wisportsradio.com. Again, wisportsradio.com. All right, Charlie, use it. So let's talk about this Badgers-Minnesota game that happened over the weekend. High hopes going in. You beat Washington. You play Oregon tough for about a half a quarter maybe. And then you take care of Illinois and Brett Bielema. That always does a body well when that happens. And then you're thinking, okay, get the twerp and PJ Fleck, and the season feels a lot better at the end of the day. Well, that wasn't meant to be. I understand sometimes why coaches do certain things, and I understand that the freshman quarterback, wasn't throwing the ball all that well. But when you decide to make a change at quarterback to a prone turnover guy, a guy that's turnover prone, that constantly is throwing picks, you cannot act surprised when he then throws 2 picks. I mean, literally, he's marching down the field, interception. They get the ball back, throws another interception. And I just went out and said, I'm done. I can't handle this anymore. I'm done. I literally turned it off. I was like, I'm not watching this anymore. If I'm going to watch him again, I'm out. He's a transfer. This isn't a freshman, my God. This is a guy that's played college football. And this is how we're going to end our season, on his arm. I understand it was snow and all of that, but it was very, very frustrating to me to watch that season end. The defense did their job again. Yeah, they had some problems stopping the ground game, but I mean, for the most part, they did their job. Tressel, through everything that happened this year, I think if you're the Badgers, you're happy with Tressel, you're happy with the defensive coaching staff. Now the question is, what offense are you going to run if Jeff Grimes stays? Jeff Grimes, I think they said on the broadcast, was on like his 3rd or 4th offensive scheme so far this year, because he's got to keep changing it based on the talent that he has at this point. And now you're going to go into a portal in which you're probably going to get another quarterback or 2, because that's what we do every year at Wisconsin. And you're probably going to have to go find offensive linemen again. That's going to be another thing. And that used to be a strength of the Badger program for so long. And now all of a sudden it's a struggle to find good quality offensive linemen. So that's something else that has to be addressed kind of going forward. And then the wide receiver position. We talked about this too. Man, if Vinny Anthony was on Michigan, Ohio State, Alabama, LSU, he'd be a top 1st-round prospect probably, or 2nd-round prospect. He stays here at Madison, and I don't know where he's going to get drafted. I'll take him on the Packers. I'll tell you that right now. I'll take Vinny Anthony on the Packers next year in a heartbeat. If they're drafting that kid in, say, the 3rd, 4th round, whatever, I know they just took 2 wide receivers this year. I take Vinny Anthony. I take him right now. So that wide receiver position, that's going to be another one that you're going to have to talk about. Is Hilton going to stay? T.Y. Hilton's kid, is he going to be around, or is he going to go into the portal? It's going to be a tumultuous offseason once you figure out how many of these kids are headed to the portal, because you have to assume a good number are going to bail on this program and go into the portal, especially considering all the different head coaches that are changing jobs and changing positions all over the Big Ten. I mean, now you get Pat Fitzgerald coming into back in the Big Ten to coach at Michigan State. I promise you, he's going to have pull in the Midwest, where he recruited for years and knows the different high school coaches and so forth. He's going to have pull too. That's going to be something else Wisconsin's going to have to deal with, because he recruited up here before when he was at Northwestern. That's not good for Wisconsin, looking at it from that standpoint. Bielema's Illinois team, good. Indiana, my God, they're going to be in the Big Ten championship game. They're undefeated. You don't think he's not going to come up here and get who he wants at this point? Like they have got themselves in a big, big hole at this point if you're Luke Fickell and this coaching staff, Charlie.
I don't think it's as big as it was before you beat Washington and before you beat Illinois, though. You dug yourself back out of it a little bit. You went out there and showed that you can be a competitive team, that the defense led by 2 freshman linebackers can go out there and be dominant at points in this season. I mean, honestly, the way it ended felt so much better than it started. And I know the way it started immediately shot us down to the bottom of our fandom, and we didn't even really want to watch these games.
Iowa. The Iowa game was the one where it ended it for everybody. Everybody wanted Fickell fired, wanted McIntosh fired. That's it. We're not getting blown out by 30-plus points to freaking Iowa. And that was, I'm telling you, that was the basement. That was as worse as it gets. I don't think it will ever get that bad again under this regime. God, I hope I'm not wrong on this one. But I think that was the bottom level. That was ground dirt, or whatever you want to call it, when they had to get through Iowa.
I think one of the biggest keys from these past few games, at least after Iowa, and I think Iowa put them into that kind of role of saying, you know what, we need to start playing these young players more. We need to put them into a position to succeed now. We'll show to older transfers that are trying to come in that this is a spot where they could come in and be a leader right away. A lot of bad teams that are playing a lot of young players, that shows a lot of promise to guys that may not have been able to get a shot at some of these bigger schools that can come in now and have that opportunity to be a leader for this team. I know that may scare away some of these freshman players that did get some playing time this year, but at the same time, I think if I'm a Mason Posa, if I'm a Eugene Hilton Jr., and I'm going out here and I learned from a guy like Vinny Anthony, who last week talked about how much he loved Wisconsin, and that was part of the reason he stayed for 4 years, because he was committed to this team. It didn't matter what the money was anywhere else. He wanted to be a part of what this team could be in the future. And I think a lot of these young players are buying into that. They played like they bought into that at the end of the season year. I know that could also be tape for other teams to come and steal them from Wisconsin, but Luke Fickell's job now is to say, you know what, look at what you did so far this year, and take that, and we can grow upon that. The defense looked good. The offense will get there. Carter Smith, when you talk about what kind of offense the Badgers need to run next year, I mean, that man's got legs. He can go out there and run, and we talked about that before the season when looking at quarterbacks that this Badgers team could get from the transfer portal. He's a guy that I think you can build on and you can build an offense around. Yeah, he's turnover prone, but he's also 18 years old. Give him some time to learn. He'll get there. He has the tools that I think I haven't seen a Badgers quarterback have in a really long time.
Charlie, you say he's 18 years old. Give him some time to get there. Luke Fickell doesn't have time for him to get there. I mean, don't we all think that Luke Fickell right now is looking at probably a do or die season as far as him staying at Wisconsin next year?
I think so, but I think he can also keep himself safe a little bit if he can get marginal progress from his freshman quarterback in his sophomore year. I think that shows a lot of improvement. So I think, yeah, it's a bigger risk to let a young player go out there and play again next year. But at the same time, if it works out, it looks really good on the head coach, and it might buy him a couple more years if Smith can go out there and be the guy that I think they know he can be at some point in his career.
See that, and that's the one thing to me too. Again, as we talk about this with the Wisconsin Badgers, and kind of what are your expectations for next year? Nicolay Law talking text line 414-677-1250, 414-677-1250. See Sparky Fiver with you. Charlie Uzin broadcasting live here from the 19th annual Toy Drive for Children's Wisconsin and Robin's Nest, coming up on the holidays and Christmas time out here at Blaine's Farm and Fleet in Oak Creek. If you can't make it out here, you can donate online as well by simply going to wisportsradio.com, wisportsradio.com. There is, in my opinion now, as you sit here, I look at this from a Badger standpoint, there's rumblings of, oh boy, their donations and their money that's going to come in, it's going to go from bottom third of the Big Ten to the top third of the Big Ten. Okay, so how are you going to spend that money? Are you going to spend that money on trying to hold some of these guys so they don't get up and they don't leave and they don't go somewhere else, right? Or are you going to spend that money all in the portal and try and turn this thing around and become a playoff team in one offseason because you're going to overspend for everybody? Of the guys that enter the portal, how many of those guys do we think are actually good? How many of those guys do we think actually aren't good, and that's why they're not playing at their current school, so they want to go see if they can play at another school? I tend to think probably 60%, maybe more than that, probably aren't good enough to be where they are, and that's why they're trying to leave. Probably 30% of that are guys that are at schools that aren't as big as Wisconsin, that want to prove that they can play at the next level and just want an opportunity. And then 10% of that is another part of, well, we just don't like the coach. Like, I'm starting, but I don't like the coaching staff. I don't want to deal with this guy. I want to go somewhere else and play for a coach that likes me more. And inside that 10% is, I want to get paid. Like, I know I'm good, but I want to go somewhere that can afford to pay me more than what I'm getting paid here. That's the other thing. So how much do they even want to be at Wisconsin, or are they just coming for the money? And when you are this bad of a program after the last couple of years, I think that's a lot of what you got to try and figure out. How many people are coming for the money and are only going to be here a year and then go back into the portal? And how many people are coming here because they truly want to be a part of the Badger program? That is something that you have to decide if that even matters to you at this point, or you're going to take whoever you can get, Charlie.
I think if that matters to you, you're probably going to find more kids coming for just the money from the transfer portal. I think then in that case, you have to spend more money on keeping the freshmen around, keeping the guys and the recruits that you're bringing in over the next season or two that Fickle has an opportunity to stay around, and keeping those guys in-house. Again, you saw a lot of great talent in the last few weeks of the season here when those guys were able to get onto the field. And I think Fickle noticed that. And I think Fickle looking into keeping these guys around and giving them opportunities for next season to start again, instead of fully going into the transfer portal. Again, bringing in a couple guys to be leaders in these groups is going to be really important, but you can't go full force into that. This is going to be a slow burn process that I think Fickle has to trust that this year he can make an improvement against the schedule that could potentially be a little bit easier for them.
Steve Sparky Fiver with you. Charlie Used over there as we talk about this Badgers team. Coming up next, we got to get to our botched moment of the day. And I think y'all are going to be aware of what the botch moment of the day is. And it was more of a soap opera for the last week or so, more than it was a botch moment of the day. I think it was a botch moments of the last couple of days. We'll get more into that coming up. Don't forget, when the Bucks win, you win at Wendy's, baby. That's right, a classic chocolate or vanilla Frosty at Wendy's within 24 hours of a Bucks victory. All you got to do is show up and say, hey, Bucks won yesterday. I'd like to get my chocolate Frosty. Or, hey, Bucks won earlier tonight. I'd like to get my chocolate or vanilla classic Frosty at Wendy's. At participating Wendy's, of course, across the beautiful state of Wisconsin. Make sure to do that. If you are listening on WNFL in Green Bay, or on the game in Wausau, the game in Duluth and Superior, thanks for tuning in. This is a toy drive that we do every year. We'd love to have you be a part of it, even though you can't drive to Oak Creek, Wisconsin, where we are at the Blaine's Farm and Fleet on Rawson to drop off toys. We obviously would also love to accept some of your monetary donations towards this toy drive. WISportsradio.com. WISportsradio.com would be a great gift for the kids that are needing it coming up these holidays. And if you are in the area, we're out here all week. This show will be here at Blaine's Farm and Fleet all week from 2 to 5. Taking toys from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. each and every day for Children's Wisconsin and Robin's Nest. Botch moment of the day comes up next. Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's, live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Sparky here.
It's time for the botched moment of the day. Bad call, dropped pass, horrible coaching. Did someone say the wrong thing? Let's get to it on Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network.
All right, time to get to our botched moment of the day as we are out here at the 19th annual toy drive for Children's Wisconsin and Robin's Nest. Would love to see you if you're in southeastern Wisconsin. Blaine's Farm and Fleet in Oak Creek off Rawson Avenue, just a couple minutes east of 94. You'll find it as you're coming down Rawson on the right side. For those of you wondering, boy, is that road construction done? No. Road construction's not done. Road construction's been happening on this street for 2 years, and it's still not done. I'm not bitter at all. No, I'll move on. I am. But anyways, so come on down here to Blaine's Farm and Fleet and drop off some toys. We've had a couple of different people drive up, open up the trunk of their car, and donate like 6-7 bags of toys, emptying boxes of toys.
Awesome.
Tommy Wirtz's mom showed up with a box of toys, like, I don't know, 10, 12 Barbies and all this stuff. So that was awesome to have her out here doing that. And it's been really, really cool. I also had an incident with a Oak Creek police officer. An incident. Yeah, because I felt like it was my opportunity to really put some pressure on these people, because for 19 years, we've always had donations from Oak Creek Fire and Franklin Fire and North Shore Fire, and they're amazing, all three of those fire departments. And sometimes FedEx will drop off, or sometimes the Postal Service will drop off toys, whatever. I don't believe I can ever remember Oak Creek Police ever dropping anything off in 19 years. I could be wrong. I'm old. So there was a cop that was here earlier, and I just let him have it. I was like, hey, man, like, y'all need to do something. We're here till Friday. You got 5 days to figure this out. Like, you all have never donated anything in 19 years. Fire department comes every year, man. How is the Oak Creek Police never involved in this thing? So I let him have it pretty good. He was laughing at me, thought I was funny. So we'll see if we get some type of contribution from the Oak Creek Police Department here by the end of the week, Charlie.
You tried to pull a Scrooge on them, make them feel bad about it, and then eventually their hearts will change. A Grinch moment, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like he was the chief of police or anything. It was just a random cop that I went up on.
Send it up the chain of command, right?
Right. That's what I'm hoping for. I'm hoping the Oak Creek Police get involved here and donate some toys to this very well-worth project for Children's Wisconsin and Robin's Nest. If you want to donate, get online. You can do that, wisportsradio.com. Thanks to all of our fine sponsors, right? By the Yard, Tri-City Bank. They're a great sponsor and have been for quite some time. Metro by T-Mobile, another great sponsor of us out here. Steel Wind Industries. Every year they come and are a part of this and have a huge toy donation at some point. Always love seeing them. I've always called them the guardian angel of our toy drive. Blaine's Farm and Fleet for having us out here too. And of course, Bear Sunrooms, man. Without them, I would be freezing my tuchus off outside right now. And instead, I'm in a nice warm Bear Sunroom. So always appreciate that. Anybody interested in buying a Bear Sunroom? I got a bunch of flyers inside. Just stop inside and give you a Bear Sunroom flyer. All right, Charlie, the botched moment of the day. What say you?
All right, the botched moment of the day, like you said, has been more of a botched moment of the past week with Lane Kiffin and this drama between Ole Miss and LSU. Yesterday, he made the announcement that he will officially be joining LSU as their head coach. Within 24 hours, they made a profile picture on their website for him, all this crazy stuff, and Ole Miss fans are bitter about it. A lot of people are blaming Lane Kiffin, but Dan Orlovsky went on Get Up this morning and blamed the NCAA calendar.
What is Lane Kiffin supposed to do? Unequivocally, everyone would sit here and tell you, top 5 job in college football, LSU. Unquestionably, the chance to legitimately go win a national championship, and not a ton of schools can say that. And so he's left with the decision, because of the way the calendar is set up, and Josh pointed it out minutes ago, he's left with the decision of, I just took this team to the brink of the playoff and a potential national championship, and seeing that through, or turning down what maybe is the next step, what maybe is a dream job, what maybe is, in his words, he said, the next challenge. So Lane Kiffin's the bad guy here because these idiots who set this college football calendar this way? That's not Lane Kiffin's fault. If we remove all the emotion, what is he supposed to do? Truly not take the next step because poor calendar management and setting of dates? That's not fair to Lane Kiffin. It's not fair to the kids. I feel awful for the kids at Ole Miss. But this is the people, the leadership of the NCAA once again, having awful leadership when it comes to that stuff.
I have so many thoughts on this. So Rick Pitino, St. John's basketball coach, legendary Hall of Fame basketball coach, tweeted, "I'm not knocking football, but there's something wrong with their calendar. I'm at St. John's. We are potentially a 1 seed and can win a national championship this year. And I leave in March? What's going on here?" says Rick Pitino. I love Dan Orlovsky, as you all know, but I have issues with what he said. First of all, the next challenge? Did they win a national championship at Ole Miss? Is he going to Wisconsin to go coach to try to get them to win a national championship?
Still in the SEC.
He's going to LSU, dog. I mean, they're a rival of Ole Miss, number one. Number two, from a talent standpoint, those boys are going to have a much better chance of winning a national championship. He's trying to go get himself a national championship ring to put on his resume. This has nothing to do with the next challenge for poor Lane Kiffin going to LSU over Ole Miss. Y'all need to stop with that nonsense. And then at Ole Miss, you got their defensive coordinator getting promoted, Golding, to be the next head coach. Now, hold on. I got even more than that. Do you realize this is the SEC, the Southeastern Conference? Now, when you think of the Southeastern Conference, you think of a great football program, right? Great football programs, conferences.
Almost every
Let
team.
me explain to you the head coaches that are coming into the AC or coming into the SEC. Memphis's Ryan Silverfield, who is going to get fired at Memphis, is now the Arkansas head coach. That's not an upgrade. North Texas's Eric Morris is going to Oklahoma State. Tulane's John Summerall, who everybody is praising, he's going to Florida.
Except for Florida fans. Florida fans hate him for some reason.
Well,
they think he's the next Billy Napier for no
probably
reason.
because he's from Tulane. And South Florida's Alex Golish is going to Auburn. You've got 4 coaches from the American Conference all rolling up on these major Division I programs. How many of these programs will regret it? I promise you Arkansas is going to. I've known Silverfield and his track record at Memphis for a while. His style ain't going to work at Arkansas. I'm not sure anybody can win at Arkansas. But either way, that isn't going to work out well either. This is my thing with Lane Kiffin. I agree. The calendar is set up wrong. I agree. They should have it set up to where you cannot take another head coaching job until the completion of the national championship game. At that point, you can be hired. Secondly, you should not be allowed to negotiate a new contract with anybody at a university prior to the completion of the national championship game. Thirdly, if you are caught negotiating with anybody at a program associated or not associated with that program, you will be show cause for 5 years and not allowed to be a head coach in Division I college football if we find out and can prove that you are circumventing the rules. You want to stop this crap? That's how you stop it. Did you see the picture? I know it wasn't real, but I thought it was funny that even Ole Miss was sick of him and had a rack of his shirts on a thing sitting out in his parking space at Ole Miss and said, "Out you go. We're done. Be gone."
That's what it feels
that
like.
Man, he went from being the most loved man to the most hated man within, 24 hours or whatever the case may be. This drama went on for, a week or so, that there was a possibility he was going here. Florida was also a possibility. They heard it wasn't happening, so they pivoted and got their guy from Tulane. Do you have Marty Smith from the SEC Network and ESPN? So this is Saturday night when he was supposedly going to give us an answer Saturday night. Then it got delayed to Sunday morning. Marty Smith was trying to get an answer from Lane Kiffin. Check this out.
Have you texted him yet to say, please do something, I've got to get home? Have you tried that one yet?
Let me see here. Hold on.
Oh, you're going to do it now.
I wrote him at 8:46 Central Time and said, will there be a resolution tonight? Please, God in heaven, tell me yes.
You've tried, man. Great job by you, Marty.
And he did not write me back on that one.
Go get some rest.
It was so good, man. It was so good. When I saw that on Saturday night, I was laughing hysterically. So Marty Smith, he got his start covering NASCAR for the longest time before ESPN brought him in to cover college football. So dude's been doing it a long time, and that is his personality 1,000%. And I'm sure Lane Kiffin also busted out laughing when he saw the text from Marty Smith come in. But it literally felt like that. It felt like the soap opera was never going to end. And then the poor kids in the locker room at Ole Miss were sitting there going, okay, so what's going on? After he had that report, within the hour, maybe 2 hours, came the report that he was going to LSU. And all of these kids, I'm sure, are seeing it on social media. It's even more unfair for them.
Oh, it's awful. I feel so bad for the players that do want to be there. We talk about at Wisconsin trying to get kids to come and buy into that program. At Ole Miss, it's a better team right now. A lot of people want to go play for Lane Kiffin. He had people bought into that program. Probably a lot of kids bought into that program, and he just ditches them for a school that is basically adjacent to what your school is at this point. That's got to feel just awful for them. And I think that Lane Kiffin, in a lot of this, just like Dan Orlovsky, people are just not blaming him enough. Like, it just feels like he is a grown man and should be able to make the right decision and wait 3 weeks before taking that kind of job. Yes, I know LSU would have filled the position. Who cares? You had a great job already. You were going to be named one of the best college coaches in the country this year. You might have gotten an award for it. And now you're sitting here and looking like a butthead because you went and just wanted to flip that easy. Like, this is just awful on his part in this whole situation. Yeah, the NCAA calendar shouldn't allow him to do it in the first place, but come on, be a man.
The other part about this is the money, man. Paying him a lot of money, opening up the coffers. And none of us, well, most of us have never been in a situation to turn down that much money and say, no, I'm good. I don't need all those extra millions of dollars. No, I'm good. Don't worry about me. I don't need to win a national championship. I'm just going to sit here and coach at Ole Miss for the rest of my life. Like, I mean, I get it, right? But it don't use the words challenge to me at LSU. Please don't use that. Saban's not at Alabama anymore. Don't come at me with, oh, the challenge. There isn't that guy. There isn't that Bear Bryant that he's got to slay in order to win a national championship. Those days are done. They're all done. Landing at Oregon's nice coach. DeBoer's at Alabama. People were all over at the beginning of the year. Now they're back on the train with him a little bit at Alabama. But there aren't those guys. There aren't those coaches. Ryan Day at Ohio State, that guy was deemed a choke for a majority of his career before he finally won his first national title. So I don't know if you're even on board with Ryan Day at this point at Ohio State. Michigan doesn't have anybody. So again, challenge? Stop me with all this challenge stuff. Enough is enough. All right, we'll take a quick time out, come back. That was your botch moment of the day or days, whatever you want to call it. Coming up next, we'll continue to talk about the 19th annual toy drive out here at Blaine's Farm and Fleet in Oak Creek. We'd love to see you out here on Rawson Avenue, just east of 94. Drop off a toy or 2 or 3 or however many you want to donate. They have beautiful Toyland inside, man. A lot of people go in there and spend their money inside Toyland, which I've done for many years now, and getting the toys for those fine folks at Children's Wisconsin and Robin's Nest Foster Care Arm. Go inside, buy a couple toys, drop them off, donate them. We're here all week long, 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. all week. Donate online if you'd like to as well. If you're listening in Wausau, Duluth, Superior, or Green Bay, you can't make it down to Oak Creek in southeastern Wisconsin, no problem. We would gladly accept that monetary donation to wisportsradio.com. Coming up next, Nancy Korm of Children's Wisconsin will join us. It is Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's, live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Sparky with you.
I've got fun facts.
Welcome back, Steve Sparky Pfeiffer with you, and it's funny how this works, right? So when you do this show out here at Blades Farm and Fleet, as you just heard in Oak Creek, and you're doing the toy drive, we're in this beautiful bare sunroom. We got the heat on, so we don't have to freeze in here and so forth. And you realize somebody important is here because all of a sudden there becomes more people in here other than you and the guests. Now everybody comes in here. People are rolling cameras, taking pictures. Sparky's in here by themselves. Just Sparky, whatever. I don't care. Nancy Corum shows up. The paparazzi comes out. Nancy Corum is here, Vice President, Chief Nursing Officer for Ward Children's, Wisconsin. You've been with us the entire way. 19 years. We are getting old.
Oh,
Yeah.
speak for yourself.
No, we're old. No, I don't care.
We just been
We're
doing
old.
this a long time. This is
19
great.
years is a long time.
And it's great.
I mean,
So,
that first year we had a box truck, and we did about $7,000 in toys and brought them right there to Children's, Wisconsin, in Tosa. And I'll never forget, our morning guy at the time goes in and says, "Oh, hey, we got the toys from the toy drive." "Oh, sure, no problem. I'll come out and help you," because nobody thought we would draw flies at that point. We were a brand new radio station. So they come outside, they see the box truck, and it was in a big box truck. "Oh, go back inside. All hands on deck. Anybody that's not busy, we need help unloading this truck." From that to now trying to fill a semi truck here at Blaine's Farm and Fleet in Oak Creek, like we've been doing for 19 years now, it is quite remarkable how far this thing has kind of come.
it is remarkable. And I just want to say thank you because the kids in the state of Wisconsin and Children's
Yes.
Wisconsin are so grateful. You're making a difference every
Yeah.
year, and it just keeps growing.
Well, the cool thing is you hear all the stories. Like earlier today, I was in there and asking people to donate as they were walking in Blaine's Farm and Fleet and stuff. And the one mom is like, "Oh, I've spent lots of time in there." I was like, "Oh, yeah, my one son is 14. Has had 33 surgeries. 33 surgeries. Oh my God, I can't even imagine." We had the Baker family on in the last show talking about their son and brain tumors and everything that he's gone through. And now he's playing baseball and he's doing all that stuff and rolling along. The Cottrell family, who'll be on later in the week, Bubba Fight, who, you know, that story. We've had them on every year and everything he went through. And now he's, getting ready to graduate Oak Creek High School coming up, and just all of that stuff, and seeing families that come out here where the kids are like 4 or 5 years old and they bring them every year. And then you could see them and they're 15 and they're 20 and now they got kids, and like that type of stuff. That's that, again, going back to the I'm old part, that's the type of stuff which is really cool.
So maybe we are getting old, but I
Yeah.
think that's what families do is, again, this community is so amazing. And what
Yes.
you do to really role model the giving, and then what you just described, wow. I mean, to have families keep coming back
Every year.
every year and then generation over generation.
Yeah.
So just like this has been growing, Children's Wisconsin has been growing too. I mean, the fun facts about the numbers of kids we see, not just hospitalized kids, but kids in primary care and specialty care in the community. It is pretty amazing what the touch points that we have, and then subsequently the touch points that you all have with this gift.
I thought you were going to tell me about all the construction, because every time I go over there, something new is being built, Nancy.
I know. And that's, I think that campus, yes, we're always building.
Yes.
And there's always something new because we are going to continue to take care of kids.
The emergency room being moved was my favorite part.
Yes, and that was a huge project, but I will tell you how that meets the needs of our community is so much better.
Yes.
I mean, it's bigger, more rooms, very thoughtful. We're a level 1 trauma center, so we take care of the most injured kids all the way to, an episodic visit that you have to go in, appendectomy.
Yeah.
Strep throat, whatever it may be. And we have urgent cares, other options as well. So yeah, I am guessing you've been to the emergency department given you
I
said
have,
that.
and I've gotten
And
lost in the hospital because I couldn't figure out after I parked the car how to get to the emergency room where I dropped the family off. And I'm just walking around going, "Oh my God, I'm never going to find them." And I'm asking people how to get there now. A lot easier. I much appreciate it. Talking with Nancy Corum of Children's Wisconsin here. And she's been with us this whole time. And obviously you're in charge of the nursing program and all of that. And you go to conventions all over the country and all of that. What is the thing that when you have nurses and so forth, and you talk to them, what's the one thing you want to make sure they understand about kind of the responsibilities or the expectations they have when they work at Children's Wisconsin versus somewhere else?
Yeah, that's a great question. So my role is Chief Nursing Officer for Children's Wisconsin for the entire state. We have about 2,000 nurses. So from a nursing perspective, we work with professionals, all professionals, but I'll focus on nursing here for a moment. I think, and what I'm really proud of is we recruit the best of the best. And it's people who have a passion to work with kids, whether it's in critical care, emergency services, in the neonatal intensive care unit, in oncology, in primary care, you name it. People find their specialty because they love kids.
Can I say this? I had a friend years ago, and she was a waitress at a place where I used to frequent all the time. And she wanted to work at Children's and all of this other stuff. And she wanted to work in the burn unit is where she wanted to be. And I think she's still there working in the burn unit to this day at Children's Wisconsin. And I'm telling you right now, you could give me a million choices of what I want to do in my life. It's not working in a burn unit at Children's Wisconsin. But that just tells you everybody's life calling is a little bit different and how everybody falls into place.
Yeah, and absolutely. I mean, I'm a pediatric nurse for my entire career at Children's Wisconsin. And you can do anything with that career. I mean, like you say, if you love that specialty of burn care, which takes a very special person, if you love cancer care, whatever it is, and we recruit, like I said, the best of the best. And then you wrap around all these other services. Sparky, you've met so many of our team members with, social worker, respiratory, our child life and creative therapies. That's what makes these gifts come alive, that department.
And I tell people this all the time, and I know you will associate with this because I've talked to many of the nurses from when I've been there and I have had a child there when she stopped breathing, is the aspect of the toys that you get and how instrumental that is. If a child's having a bad day and they're in a lot of pain or whatever, and then that nurse brings that toy in there and that child's face smiles. And for that fleeting moment, all is okay because I've got a toy to play with. But then you take that line of vision and you go from the child to the parents, and then all of a sudden their eyes are getting filled with tears because they're finally seeing their child smile for the first time in God knows how long. And it's therapeutic to everybody involved by simply dropping off a toy at a toy drive like this at Blades Farm and Fleet in Oak Creek. That is why I love doing this, because it makes such a huge impact on not only the child's life, but the parents too, when they're going through that type of stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think what you just described, Sparky, is pretty amazing because kids are resilient.
Yes.
And, I think that distraction, it doesn't matter how old you are as a kid, 0 to 19, whatever age, that is so meaningful. And I will tell you, from the family's perspective, to see their child have a little bit of joy and to have the ability to be distracted and cooperate differently with treatments. And then the other piece of this is some families cannot fit that into their lives right now. They're too busy with a hospitalized child or ongoing treatments. And it is really special. Or there may be some social determinants. They just do not have the dollars to be able to do this for their children. And that's not the priority. So when they get that, it really brings joy, not just to the kid, but to everybody.
Yeah, no doubt. Talk a little bit about Children's Hospital and Children's Wisconsin, as far as it's not just physical care anymore too. Now the mental side of things is also taking a role too.
Yeah, we have been focusing on mental behavioral health. I just, some fun facts is that we have had in this past year 164,463 visits to mental and behavioral health providers. That's important to know because mental health is health as well as physical health, dental health. I mean, we always talk about all the different types of healthcare, and we have to take care of each other mentally and really support each other. So that's a service that we have been growing in the last number of years and making a difference. A generous gift has allowed us to have mental health folks, specialists in our primary care clinics. So if your child has anxiety at school or suicidal ideation.
How do you turn it from a negative of I'm going to see a therapist to a kid that's in school, doesn't want to get made fun by his friends and everything else, to convince that child that it is the right decision and it's going to be okay?
Yeah, I think it's those wraparound services. It is really talking about, we care about you as a whole person. You know, a
Mm.
child may or may not understand that, but I can't tell you. Everybody has a knack at how do you bring the child in,
How do you
talk about.
convince them?
Yeah, and it's really your important. Your well-being is important, and if you can have them start that conversation, it does make a huge difference.
No doubt about it. Nancy Corum, again, Vice President, Chief Nursing Officer for Children's Wisconsin out here. 19th Annual Toy Drive for Children's Wisconsin and Robin's Nest. I appreciate you coming out here. Is there anything else you want to mention before we roll?
I just want to say thank you. I'm going to say thank you on behalf of the kids, the families, our staff
fun.
at Children's Wisconsin. It is a huge deal that this
Yeah.
has been going on and that you all are making a difference.
Think about it. I mean, Jeff is going to be out here a little bit later, Jeff
Oh,
Stewart.
good.
And we were in a conference room when this all started 19 years ago. And we didn't know how long it would last. I don't think anybody thought we would get 19 years into this and still be going strong. But it's a cool deal, and I'm glad we can do it every year. Like I said, it's my favorite week of the year. Thank you so much for coming out.
Thank you. So nice to see you.
Absolutely. There she is. Nancy Corum, Vice President, Chief Nursing Officer for Children's Wisconsin, out here, Blades Farm and Fleet on Rawson Avenue in Oak Creek from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. all week long through Friday, collecting cash and toys. Donate online if you're listening across the state. Green Bay, Wausau, Duluth, Superior, as we're on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network. Go to wisportsradio.com, or you can text TOYS, TOYS, to 34984. Text TOYS to 34984. Thanks to all of our great sponsors: Tri-City National Bank, Steelwind Industries, By the Yard, and Metro by T-Mobile. Take a quick time out. Come back on the other side. Continuing on, Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy Steve Sparky Pfeiffer here at Blades Farm and Fleet in Oak Creek.
Some shows talk about one team. Other shows barely talk sports. This show will talk Packers, Brewers, and Bucks every day. Every day. It's Wisconsin Sports Daily with Steve Sparky Pfeiffer, served up by Wendy's on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network. Download the Wendy's app today.
Yeehaw! We are out here at Blaine's Farm and Fleet in Oak Creek on Rawson Avenue. Attention, attention. It's the 19th annual toy drive for Children's Wisconsin and Robin's Nest, foster care arm of Children's Wisconsin. Need to try and fill a semi. That's what we're trying to do out here at Blaine's Farm and Fleet in Oak Creek. Come on out. Donate a toy here. You can bring toys from other places where you bought toys on Black Friday, whatever the case may be. That's totally fine. I like going inside Toyland here at Blaine's Farm and Fleet and buying my toys. And again, they can be toys for all ages, all the way up through a teenager. They're looking for toys. Now, the one thing they can't really take are Nerf guns, right? Because you don't want bullets flying all over the place. That's a kind of a hassle to clean up and so forth. So no Nerf guns. We're good on Nerf guns. But for the most part, everything else we're pretty good on. So come on out here, make a donation for the toy drive, 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. each day this week, Monday through Friday. I'll be doing this afternoon show out here, 2 to 5 every day, Monday through Friday. So would love to see you out here if you are in the area. And again, thanks to all of our great sponsors, Tri-City National Bank, Steelwind Industries, By the Yard, and Metro by T-Mobile. And of course, a great sunroom brought to you by the Bear Sunroom. King's Catering in Oak Creek. Their food truck will be out here from 4 to 6 each day, all week long. So if you're on your way home and looking for a little something to eat, a little snacky snack, maybe some dinner on the way home, after you go inside Blaine's Farm and Fleet, or maybe on your way home just to pick it up and bring it home. I'm telling you, this food is outrageous. Charlie Usen got some last year.
Phenomenal.
Charlie Usen.
The beef stroganoff, man. Ooh, I think I fell in love. It was so good. So good.
Charlie's first question. Is that food truck coming back? As it is, I'm driving down to Oak Creek to get me some food.
That's
yes.
legitimately my first question that I asked.
Correct. Yes, legitimately the first question. So King's Catering food truck will be out here today and every day this week from 4 to 6. So we'd love to see you out here and be a part of that too. And all proceeds from that go right back to the toy drive. They don't take food costs or nothing. It's 100% go towards it. So we'd love to see you come out here and support them as well. All right, coming up this hour, Charlie Sounds of the Day, as always, coming up at 3:40. Amanda Schlosser from Children's Wisconsin Social Workers. She'll be joining us coming up at 3:20. Right now, I want to get into a topic that I saw online. Now, I will tell you, I got this from a person that's got like 6,000 followers, something like that. Doesn't follow me. I don't follow him. Saw somebody retweet it, and I was like, what is this all about? So I went and I looked, and I will tell you exactly what the person said, and then we can have this big conversation, because a big conversation happened after this person tweeted it, and I think everybody's got their own definition, so I'm curious to see what your definition is. This guy, WinnieGoat7, at WinnieGoat7, tweeted out, people who call Giannis a generational talent has no idea what, quote, generation talent means, end quote. So it was an attack on Giannis. So obviously that's what caught my eye. To which I ask you, in your mind, when somebody says a player is a generational talent, whether it be in football, basketball, baseball, hockey, whatever the sport may be, whatever walk of life is, generational talent. In your mind, what is that definition for you? What are the qualifications that athlete has to meet to qualify as a generational talent? Nicolay Law Talk and text line 414-677-1250, 414-677-1250. You can also participate on social media as well at WI Sports Radio, wherever you may have your favorite social media account, as well as commenting there on YouTube and X as we live stream this bad boy at Blaine's Farm and Fleet in Oak Creek for the 19th annual toy drive for Children's Wisconsin and Robin's Nest. Some of the replies under this are interesting, because obviously after a while, what happened? Bucks fans started hopping in to this dude's comments and having conversations about it. So this guy, Himi Neutron, says they really don't. Generational talent and generational player are two different things. LeBron Kareem, Jordan, Wemby are generational talents. Giannis, Kobe, Joker, Steph are generational players. So this guy says there's a difference between a generational talent and a generational player. Understand?
I get that.
My thing is this. If you say he's not a generational talent or he's not a generational player, give me some other people that play like him, that are his size, his weight, and do everything he does, that have come across the NBA in our last, I don't know, in our lifetimes. I'm here. Nicolay Law, talking text line 414-677-1250. There isn't one. There is not one. Kevin Garnett, long, yes, right? Better shooter than Giannis, but never was running point like Giannis, driving down the lane, bullying guys. Didn't have the Shaq attack fouls situation on him where they never blow a whistle every time he goes up for a basket, because if they did, they'd be blowing the whistle every time because nobody can stop the guy. He's not 300 pounds like Shaq or however big Shaq was by the end. He ain't that size having to deal with this. There is not another player that plays like this guy, that has the athleticism that this guy does at his size and his mass. There's not another guy like him. I don't understand how anybody can even remotely argue this fact at this point. There's not another guy. Listen, Kobe Bryant, you can go Michael Jordan. Okay, well, that means he's not a generational talent. If I can come up with somebody that quick for him, that takes him out. Now, LeBron James, I don't have anybody. So I'll get with you on LeBron. Yes, LeBron is that. Wembanyama, probably going to be another one where you don't have anybody that size being able to put the ball on the floor and do everything he does. That's going to be another one. But a lot of these other guys, like Joker, like, I don't know.
You don't think he is?
I'm not.
But who are you going to compare him to? Nobody has ever done what he's done at his size.
No, but Joker is the guy that could have played in the 70s.
Yeah.
And he would have fit right in, right? And JJ Redick would have called him a plumber, right? Because that's what it would have been. He ain't some peak physical specimen or nothing like that. If that dude walked in a Farm and Fleet, they'd be like, man, that's an awfully tall dude. I wonder what he does for a living, right? Nobody's going to guess he plays basketball as he walks in.
Too, yeah.
I'm just saying, like, I don't know. I mean, I guess as far as the numbers he's putting up makes him generational, but I don't know. He doesn't do it the same way for me as some of these other guys do that we're talking about. Generational talent. Would you consider Giannis that? And what is your definition of that? Nicolay Law, talking text line 414-677-1250. Johnny Northside, you're up first on the Nicolay Law talking text line here on Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's with me, Steve Sparky Pfeiffer. What's up?
How you doing? How you feeling today, Charlie?
Hey, I'm doing good. I'm doing good today, man. When are you going to come down here and visit me this week at Farm and Fleet in Oak Creek?
Oak Creek, that's what's up. Well, you know, if it stops snowing, I can do something. It keeps snowing, and we've been doing 16 hours, man. It's tiring.
Yeah,
man.
well, okay, look, you're going to have, it's snowing right now in Oak Creek a little bit, flurry and whatever, but after that, I think we're good till Saturday. So if you want to come on down here, Johnny, I'll throw you a headset and we can talk.
Oh, man, listen here. You sold me. The second I get availability, I'm coming. I promise you that.
Johnny, you got, but we got to have a toy somewhere in this mix here. We got to have a toy for these kids too.
Oh, say nothing. I'll say less. That's not a problem at all. That's not a problem.
All right, Johnny. All right, sounds good. All right, what you got?
When we discuss generational talent, me and a friend of mine, we've been saying this for years. We call them FIFIs, phenoms. You can't base it strictly on body size or anything, because these guys are all, you know, gigantorics. They all humongous. So it's not about body size. It's the combination of body size and skill level, and also, to me, the transitioning into whatever sport you are in, winning. You know, it's hard to say you are a generational talent and it's just being wasted. It's really, you know, that's why you get swept under the rug so well. But a guy like Tom Brady wasn't the most athletic guy in the world, but who else did you want having the ball with 3 seconds left? And Tom, because he got the job done. If it was so easy, anybody would be able to do it. You know, so no, yeah, that's very out the ordinary. what Giannis does, Giannis is at the top of the list of anybody that I've ever seen. Like, he's not just right now of the NBA history ever. Like, this guy, I've never seen anything like this. I have never seen, for him to do what he does, and he does not have the 3-point shot at his disposal, and to be doing what he's done, for you to know what he's going to do, if this guy more 80% of the time has to be down low, for him to do it with the ball in his hand that's absolutely absurd. What Joker does, that's absolutely absurd. This won't happen again, is what I'm saying. Like, what's the odds of us seeing another person that size, this shape, in any sport doing what some of these guys are doing? That's how I look.
Johnny, I got one for you right here, okay? Cool Kid 69 on Twitter says this: a generational talent is someone who has attributes that cannot be replicated by others, even if they spend 24 hours in the court or on the court. Bron and Wemby are the prime examples. Giannis is more hard work pays off, like Kobe, to get to where they are right now.
But then what is SGA? What's SGA and Luka Doncic? Because to me, Luka is just those two guys right there are just really, 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 really good basketball players to me. I don't know if I put them in that category with those guys. I know it sounds crazy, but they just like really, really good at this game. Whereas, like I said, Giannis, what he's doing, like, you just don't see it, man. This guy, you just don't see it. Bron's build at 18 when he came to the league, we didn't see that. You didn't see this type of this young kid with this body size and just this I don't know, massive human that can do some of the things that he can do. You didn't see that. It's not like he's just like a good basketball player. His body. Look at the guy, 40-something years old. Look how he's built still. Like, it's absolutely absurd. It's absolutely
no
absurd.
doubt. I appreciate Johnny. I got to roll. Thanks for the call. This is the thing. I got another one here that talks about generational talents. Glow says there's only 5 generational talents currently in the league. 2 of them are about to retire in LeBron and KD. I don't believe Giannis is a generational talent either. He didn't come into the league like that. He had to develop. Generational talents are great from day one in capital letters.
I was going to ask you that before you read both of those comments. If you felt like his hard work kind of diminishes that whole idea of a generational talent.
Tell me something.
I don't think it
does.
Tell
me something. Okay, good. Tell me something. Tell me the last guy that was at his level when he came into the league that turned into an MVP and an NBA champion and dominated the league like him. You got one?
Nikola Jokic. No. That's the only one.
No, I don't think he sucked that first year. Was he that bad for the first couple of years?
They always talk about the Taco Bell commercial playing throughout his draft process because he was such a late second round pick.
No. I know where he was drafted. I understand that.
And he was not that good. His
skill level when he came in the league. Where was he at versus where Giannis was at? And then how long were they both at that level until they took the next step? I guess that would be my question.
Nikola Jokic spent those first couple of years behind Jusuf Nurkic as the guy that they drafted before him. So he didn't really get a whole lot of playing time until they traded Jusuf Nurkic to Portland, which I think was in that third season. And that's when Nikola Jokic got the starting minutes and started becoming who he was. It wasn't immediate, though.
Let's go to George, north side of Milwaukee. You are next. Joining us here on Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's at the 19th annual toy drive for Children's Wisconsin and Robin's Nest. What's up, George?
Hey, how you doing? So I'm just going to put it like this. Everybody is going to have their own opinion of generational talent. So you're not going to ever get one correct one. The way I always look at it is basically what the guy said. When I think of generational talent, it's very simple. I think of Magic Johnson, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Michael Jordan, LeBron James. These are people that change the global market. You have to change the global market. Larry Bird, Magic Johnson, change the global market of basketball. Michael Jordan took it to another level. LeBron handed it off to him. He did it the same thing. So it's not just basketball, it's global. You shape the global world, like, period. Everybody knew who Magic and Bird was. Everybody knew who Michael Jordan was, more popular than a pope. So LeBron James, so those are the definitions to me of a transcending player.
All right, very good, George. I agree with you on that too. Thanks for the call. There is not an opinion that is technically right or wrong. And that's why I thought this tweet was really good, because you saw all the different responses from Bucks fans, yes, that were defending and calling this guy names. And then from others that were saying, okay, maybe you're right. And then trying to figure out in their mind what is their definition of that too, because you hear it all the time. Oh, generational player, and they say it quite a bit now in sports. And a lot of times it probably isn't right based on everybody's opinions on it, but I don't know if there's really a correct one. We're going to make a shift here, and we are going to do Charlie's Sounds of the Day coming up next. Our guest is running a little bit behind, so we will flip-flop Charlie's Sounds of the Day coming up next. First, let me tell you about my fine folks over at the Potawatomi Sportsbook. If you are looking for somewhere to take a shuttle to and from the game, you don't want to pay all those high prices in downtown Milwaukee, Potawatomi is your place. Potawatomi Casino and Hotel. You can park your car there at the hotel. Now, there is a requirement in order to get on their shuttle. That is, you have to make a same day game wager at the Potawatomi Sportsbook or a purchase at the Potawatomi Sportsbook. And you can't go wrong there because the Potawatomi Sportsbook kitchen is on the money with all their food, homemade desserts, pastries, 48 beers on tap, dozen different specialty cocktails. Got to check it out. Once you do that, and you make your purchase or you make your wager, right away ask for, hey, I want to take the shuttle to the Bucks game. Can I get my bracelet for it? And then you're good. Shuttles leave about an hour and 15 minutes before the game, and then they start coming back at the beginning of the third quarter. For more information, simply go to Potawatomi.com. It's Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's, live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Sparky here at the 19th annual Toy Drive for Children's Wisconsin and Robin's Nest at Blake's Farm and Fleet in Oak Creek. Welcome in. It is C. Sparky Pfeiffer, as you just heard, hanging out here. Plenty of time for you, 8 a.m. to 6 p.m., Monday through Friday. If you're a business and you're like, oh, man, I didn't know this was going on, you got all week. You got all week. Tell your employees, hey, man, everybody go buy a toy. Hey, bring a toy in and bring it over here. Totally can do that. There's a business in southeastern Wisconsin, Natty Oaks, in West Dallas, I believe it is. They've had their little ongoing toy drive, and they're going to bring it over. Josh Albrecht from Inside Wisconsin Sports is going to bring it over. So they've been doing their own little mini toy drive. I know a lot of the fire departments will probably bring toys and cash donations or whatever throughout the course of time here in southeastern Wisconsin. I said earlier, I kind of put an Oak Creek cop on the line and said, come on, man, y'all have not donated in like 19 years. It's time that y'all figured this out. So we'll see if we can guilt the Oak Creek police into bringing some toys out here by the end of the week too. And again, any type of business listening, if you all want to be a participant and help us out, much appreciated for Children's Wisconsin and Robin's Nest. All right, let's go to Tony in Texas. You're next on the Nicolay Law Talk and text line. What's going on, Tony?
Thanks, Sparky, for everything you do for the kids in southeastern Wisconsin. Let's get to your question. So what is a generational talent? I looked it up, ChatGPT. You ever use this thing, Spark, ChatGPT?
No.
What
No.
a phenomenal thing, though. Oh, my God. It's a cheat code. But let's look at it. Rare physical, mental ability, and skill. I look at this, I'm like, let's go back to you and I when we were watching basketball. How about these names? Corey Maggette, Jerry Stackhouse, Andrew Wiggins, Vince Carter. How about Harold Miner? They all kind of play like Michael Jordan, right? They all kind of
Harold
look like
Miner was called Baby Jordan.
Right. But what did Michael Jordan have? A killer instinct, a will to win, refuse to lose. That's what that's what set Michael Jordan apart. Steph Curry, another one. Yeah, we've seen great shooters. Remember Craig Hodges? Great shooter.
Yeah.
Steve Kerr. But what could Steph Curry do? He could do things that I've never seen done before on the court, and he changed the game. How about this name, Spark? You're going to laugh at this one. Tito Horford. Remember that?
Yep. Had a
Al's
horrible
dad?
knee injury. Huh?
Yeah, but he was supposed to be Al Horford's dad. He was supposed to be the next Don Nelson project that was going to be Giannis. But what Giannis has that none of these guys have is the will to win. I think it's the way he grew up. There's something in these guys, the drive to win. They don't care about the money. They just want to win. They got the physical gifts, the genetics, but there's something internal driving them that sets them apart, Sparky.
Thanks for the call, Tony. I appreciate you. I say it all the time that there are a lot of uber talented people all over this country that probably should have played in the NBA. There are plenty of uber talented players that probably should have played in professional soccer or played in the National Football League, maybe even baseball. Who knows? But guess what? Didn't have the work ethic, didn't have the drive, didn't have the discipline to block out everything and dedicate themselves to only that, dating back to high school and focusing on that and grades. And no, I'm not going to prom. Why? I got to go do this. Oh, I'm not going to go do this and have a girlfriend and do all this dating thing because I got to go work on this. Like some things take precedence over others. And that drive is normally what gets you to where it is. You may have all the talent in the world, but eventually it gets leveled out when all these other uber talented people are playing with you. Then you get found out of who's working and who's not. And then you get exposed. That is how this all changes. And that's why Giannis's work ethic separates him greatly. And I will always give Jason credit for introducing him to Kevin Garnett, to Kobe Bryant, and letting them become essentially mentors because both those dudes worked nonstop to be great. They had that hunger. They had that drive. And once Giannis got a piece of that, a taste of that, the rest was history at that moment in time. Got a bunch of messages as well. Nicolay Law Talk and text line messages too. Trell from the north side of Milwaukee. Absolutely, Giannis is generational. All you have to do is look at the record. He's going to fund a break that has Oscar, Kareem, and Wilt. 30 points, 10 boards, 5 assists, most games in history in the league records. Dominance equals generational. He will obliterate that record, and it will stand for a long time. Giannis was also talking about the idea of being the all-time leading scorer in NBA history in like 4 years. That's another one of his goals. But that's what I mean. When you start talking about generational talents and being great and work ethic and so forth, it's also about setting goals and accomplishing goals. That dude stood at the Bradley Center, pointed up at the banners of the Bucks with Kareem and those guys and said to his dad, I'm going to have my name up in those banners, and we're going to win a championship, and it's going to be up in those banners too. Guess what? Both are going to happen. I promise you, both are going to happen. Time now for Charlie's Sounds of the Day.
What sound clips will Chicago Charlie pick today for Sparky? Will Sparky become enraged? Will laughter ensue? It's time for Charlie's Sound of the Day. It's Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network.
All right, out here at Blaine's Farm and Fleet in Oak Creek, 19th Annual Toy Drive. We'd love to see you out here collecting toys and cash each day, 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. for Children's Wisconsin with the holidays coming up. And Robin's Nest, just come drop off a toy or make a toy donation or a cash donation. That would also be great as well. Also can donate online if you're listening around the beautiful state of Wisconsin, whether it be on WNFL in Green Bay or the game in Wausau or Duluth Superior. You can just go to wisportsradio.com. Time now for Charlie Sounds of the Day, brought to you by Prize Picks. Charlie, where are we going first?
All right, so first up, you mentioned it before, Giannis Antetokounmpo talking about how he wants to be one of the greatest scorers of all time, how he already is one of the greatest scorers of all time, and what it means to be in the company of legends of the game.
First of all, we got to talk about who those guys are, because I just saw those guys. Talk about Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, LeBron James, Wilt, and Kevin Durant. I think it's the GOATs of the GOATs. And I don't think anybody disagree in this room. I don't think anybody in this world disagree. Just to be in that list with them is incredible. Have I accomplished as much as them? I don't think so. Do I have a lot of room to improve and room to grow in years to keep on writing my own legacy? Yes, and I think to get to the top of the scoring list is not 6, 7, 8 years away. I think it's, in my opinion, I think it's 4 years away. 4 or 5 years away, 4.5 years away. I think when I'm going to be 35 years old and sit in this chair, I'm going to have a discussion of I am in the top list of all time in scoring, and I would have turned that into existence.
Okay, one, I like the confidence. I like the goal of being the all-time scoring leader in 4 years. I'm sure the rest of the NBA will come up with some way to bring him down from being the all-time scoring leader. I would all but guarantee you that. That's the first thing. The second thing is we were going to do this as a topic. Maybe we do it tomorrow, as far as whether or not, in your mind as a fan, he belongs on that list of names that he just mentioned there. Now, he himself said, I don't know if I have the accomplishments to be on that list at this point. I think the only thing he's missing is multiple rings. He just has to get that second ring. I don't think he has to have 4 rings or 5 rings. I think if Giannis gets that second championship, and if it's in Milwaukee on top of that, that makes it all the more sweeter at that point, Charlie, and really a much bigger deal than, say, if it's in LA with Luka. That's impressive, but to a point, it's going to diminish it a little bit, like Durant going to play with Golden State.
I mean, you heard him at the end there. He said, in this chair, in 4 to 5 years, still playing for the Milwaukee Bucks. This is a situation where he's continued to talk about how he wants to be here. Yeah, he hasn't come out and directly said it, but he keeps going around that idea that he wants to be here, and everything's leading towards that. I think it will be with Milwaukee if he gets that second championship. It's about how you do that, which is extremely hard when he's making as much as he is, when he's the star that he is, and trying to find the right pieces to surround that. It's really tough when you've done it once already, and it's hard to replicate that.
And he's got to stay healthy.
Mm-hmm.
To me, that's the biggest thing with Giannis right here. He can accomplish whatever he wants to accomplish. He just got to figure a way to stay on the damn basketball court. He just missed several games. They lost all of them. This team cannot overcome him not playing. They don't have as much talent. With him, yes, they can get on a run. I firmly believe that. Without him, no, this is one of the worst basketball teams in the league. Without him, I don't think that's even questionable at this point, especially if Miles Turner isn't going to play up to the numbers on his contract, because right now he's nowhere close to the numbers on his contract. He looks like the inconsistent player he was in Indiana for the Pacers, that when the Pacers said, see ya, I know who you are and you're not worth what they're paying you. Right now, they look right. So we'll see how this plays out going forward, but he's definitely not living up to that. What's the next sound clip?
All right, next up, we're going to head over to Golden State, where Brandon Podziemski was discussing Kevon Looney and the legacy that he left in Milwaukee as Brandon grew up in the city playing in that kind of shadow.
Kevon Looney get his due in the tribute video and all the love?
It was amazing. I would like to see him start. That would be pretty cool, but they did a great job. Obviously, 10 years, 3 championships. Not a lot of people can say they did that. So to see them, get that tribute video was pretty cool.
You called him the king of Milwaukee in that tribute video. What did he sort of mean to you growing up in Milwaukee?
Yeah, I mean, he's the standard. He's the motto that you want to follow. Professional, college athlete, high school. He was dominant in all 3 phases and obviously 3 championships. So, everybody that has aspirations to make it from Milwaukee knows Kevon Looney.
I think it's right. And I think a big part of when you have that mantle of being the inspiration for all these kids like Kevon Looney does, according to Pods, I think part of this is coming back, being here in the offseason, having camps, connecting with kids, doing all of that. And that doesn't have to be in the spotlight. That doesn't have to be with TV cameras around or radio guys talking about you doing it. Just being a part of it and holding that mantle with a sense of pride of knowing who you are and what you mean to everybody else, and letting some of these kids touch an NBA player and a guy that won championships with Steph Curry and Klay Thompson and Draymond Green, and hear the stories and be a part of that is a huge, huge deal. Not every community gets a guy that's willing to connect like that. And that is something that, to be honest with you, Milwaukee could really use more of that from their guys.
Definitely, but I also feel like just from this batch of young players that are coming into the league, you're seeing that Milwaukee really does have a great basketball culture. You're seeing Brandon Podziemski go out there and be a great player. Jalen Johnson has had a huge breakout season this year, man. You're seeing a lot of these players come into their own, and they're only coming day after day. I mean, Patty Baldwin hasn't really done anything since he's got to the NBA, but he's in the NBA. It's fun to see these players. Yeah, I said Jalen Johnson before. He's become like an all-star, almost MVP level player so far this season. He's been that awesome. You're really getting a lot of solid play out of the city, and you have been for a long time now. It's cool to see people honoring the guys that came before them and wanting to take that next step beyond what Kevon Looney did for the game.
Absolutely right. Was that 3 or was that 2?
That was 2. I got one more for you, Sparky. It's going to stick with the Milwaukee Bucks, and maybe the more awesome play from the Brooklyn Nets game than Giannis even getting 21,000 points. Thanasis came in and dominated.
The roster. Thanasis! Left-handed sweetness!
Get on that rim, TA. You would think that was 21,000 right there. Okay, TA. Quick rip. I mean, he's one of the most athletic players, physically gifted guys.
He is the human victory cigar. That's what he is, Wes Matthews. He's the human victory cigar for the Milwaukee Bucks. I'm glad that everybody loves him. I'm glad that everybody cheers for him. It's great, but come on, man. That's enough. Highlight courtesy of FanDuel Sports Network Wisconsin. That was Charlie's Sounds of the Day, brought to you by Prize Picks. It's the holiday season, best time of year for sports. Bowl games, basketball matchups, playoff pushes, it's all happening at once. And while you and I are out here making decisions every day, what gifts to buy, what to eat, which games to watch, there's one place where it feels good to be right. That is Prize Picks. It's daily fantasy is all it is. All you're doing is going more or less on 2 or more daily stat projections on your favorite players. Plus, you can stack players now as well with Prize Picks, which means you can have 2 or 3 stat projections on the same player in the same lineup. And, of course, the flex play, which is something that I always do because I'm not as good at this as most people, so I need to be able to afford to have one wrong. Flex play allows you to have one wrong and still cash in at the end of the day. Download the Prize Picks app today and use code SPARKY, SPARKY, to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code SPARKY to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks. It's good to be right. Must be present in certain states. Visit prizepicks.com for more details. We are out here at Blades Farm and Fleet 19th Annual Toy Drive for fine folks over there at Children's Wisconsin. All those kids that aren't going to be able to maybe be home at the holiday season, like all the kids may be in your home. All the kids that are in the foster care program and the families and social workers helping them out and so forth, getting them some of the presents that they may want. This helps everybody involved. We are usually well, we have been the largest toy drive that Children's Wisconsin has had for about the last 19 years. So want to fill this Blaine's Farm and Fleet semi up out here in Oak Creek. Need your help all week, 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. out here. Also can donate online at wisportsradio.com or text TOYS, TOYS, to 34984. It's brought to you by Tri-City National Bank, Steelwind Industries by the Yard, and Metro by T-Mobile. As we broadcast from the Bear Sunroom. Thanks so much to them as well. Don't forget, King's Catering in Oak Creek's going to have their food truck out here coming up this afternoon and throughout the week from 4 to 6 p.m. Want to be a part of that as well. Coming up next, Amanda Schlosser, Children's Wisconsin, part of the social workers there. We'll talk to her straight ahead. It is Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's, live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Sparky here. Welcome in, Steve Sparky Pfeiffer with you, as you just heard. Blaine's Farm and Fleet. We're out here each day this week, Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. Plenty of time for you to get down here. Don't procrastinate like I would and wait till Friday. We can do this all week long. We're trying to fill a semi. Let's not give me a heart attack on, oh my God, we're not going to fill this semi on Thursday. Then you all show up on Friday. Please don't do that. Please come out here before that. We can also donate online at wisportsradio.com if you can't make it to Oak Creek and you're listening around the state of Wisconsin. That's completely fine. You can also text toys to 34984 to make a donation. Toys to 34984. Joining me now is Amanda Schlosser of Children's Wisconsin, part of the social worker team over there. Thanks for coming on. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much for having me. And thank you for the people that have already donated. I just saw 2 families pull up and drop off some toys.
Yes,
Love that.
it's cool. It's
Very
cool when they come from all over. I mean, we have people that drive down here from Grafton and all over the place and drop off toys every year. And it's cool to start to see the same families over and over do it every year. It becomes a tradition. Which is cool too. Okay, so let's talk about the social worker aspect of this. I said Children's Wisconsin and Robin's Nest. Robin's Nest is that foster care arm, I guess, of Children's Wisconsin that a lot of people probably don't know about.
Correct. And I'm actually here representing more of our medical side of our social work team. Yes, we have tons of social workers embedded within Children's Wisconsin, and I am part of that medical team that is based out of the hospital.
So what we're talking about, social workers in the hospital. You're talking about mental health social workers, emergency rooms. So what do y'all do?
Yeah.
The ones that are based there.
So that's a great question. So we are about a team of almost 70 strong that crosses over from our daytime team. And I also, without expanding our boundaries throughout Wisconsin as well. So when I say daytime team, I'm also considering our regional social workers at clinics throughout the Milwaukee metropolitan area. I'm thinking about our 4 social workers that we have up in the northeast area of Wisconsin.
Okay. Yep, we're out in Duluth and Superior. We're in Green Bay. We're in Wausau. We're all over the state.
Very cool, growing very quickly there. But then, yes, our main campus located in Wauwatosa. So that could be our clinic social workers that are covering our oncology day hospital. That could be somebody in our complex care clinic or working with our transplant teams. That could also be the social worker that is in our Yabuki Mental Health Clinic, who's providing crisis services for youth in need. That can also span to our evening and weekend social workers. We are a 24/7 social work operation, and we're very proud of that. We're not on site at all times. We do have on-call social workers that are called in a moment of crisis overnight to be there and be present with our families.
Sure. Okay, so you brought this up earlier. So help us all understand what exactly you're doing. So Christmas Eve, something happens, you end up in the ER at Children's Wisconsin. What is the role then of said social worker or so forth?
For sure. Definitely want to start with meeting the family where they're at. What an awful experience to be at the hospital on the holidays, especially unexpected. This is support for not only the patient, but for also the parents.
Sure.
How are we going to make this a holiday? So we'll definitely first inquiries are basic needs. Do you have somewhere to sleep tonight? If that's not at the hospital, is that with our partners over at Ronald McDonald? What are you going to eat tonight? And then we can start talking about what is this holiday going to look like at the hospital? What kind of experiences can we work with our child life team to create for a family? And then also, what kind of fun stuff can we have for the patients or families to do?
Fun stuff?
Yeah, we do.
I'm in a hospital. What do you mean fun stuff?
We do have a little bit of fun. So the hospital, we had a great time last week, Tuesday, kicking off our holiday season with our holiday parade.
Oh,
it was incredible to see our teams come together and create floats and just an incredible experience for our families.
So like people get dressed up as like elves and stuff or what?
I
mean, how over the top are we?
For sure. We had elves there. We usually, Santa always will make an appearance. We will represent other holidays like Kwanzaa. I might see a Kwanzaa float. You'll probably see lots of more elves. But yeah, just a great variety of floats were present.
How about caroling? Is there caroling?
Typically, we do have some volunteers. We used to have a little bit stronger presence in that area.
Really?
I wonder where all those carolers have gone. But yeah, typically around Christmas Day or Christmas Eve. And then you might even be able to catch Santa if the Milwaukee Fire Department has picked him up that year. So
very nice.
Maybe look out the windows on Christmas Day.
I like it. Talking with Amanda Schlosser, again, of Children's Wisconsin, talking about the social workers. and what they do over there at Children's Wisconsin. You know, the other part about this, and you brought up the Ronald McDonald House, and we haven't talked about that today necessarily. And I had brought up the idea of, I know a family that would fly in from Florida for treatments for their son and then fly back to Florida when it was okay to fly back to Florida because this was the best place to go for what their son needed at that point. How big of a presence do you play with those folks from out of state that are there and literally don't know anything about anything of where they are in the state of Wisconsin, other than they know they're in this hospital, but don't know anything outside of that hospital?
Oh, for sure. Yes. I even think about our families. We have a large family presence in the UP,
Okay.
and the thought of, Milwaukee is large. It's a metropolitan area. So yeah, anybody coming to Milwaukee for the first time, traveling far, Ronald is a great resource for us. Just to give them some access to some lodging and also some familiar faces. Our families are over there and can turn into supports for one another, which is also incredible to see. But I'd say like bringing in a family from the out of area, really as a social worker, trying to acclimate them to the area where they can go for big needs. Do they need help getting to these places? Walking them through that journey. Absolutely.
And years past, and this year we can do the same thing. We've taken gift cards here for those that people at Ronald McDonald House or whatever the case may be. The 1 year, a lady said, "What do you have what can I gift you that you don't have?" I was like, "What? We don't have any gift cards necessarily, for the folks over at Ronald McDonald House." She's like, "Okay, I'll be back. How long are you here?" I'm like, 6 o'clock. "Okay, I'll be back." She came back with, said $300 in Visa gift cards in $25 increments. Came back. She goes, "Here you go. Problem solved. Thank you. Have a good Christmas." I was like, "Yeah, that was amazing. Thank you. Have a good Christmas." But I mean, it's that type of stuff. And it could be not only that, it can be gift cards for restaurants. It can be gift cards for different stores like Blaine's Farm and Fleet or anywhere where they can get toiletries and whatever they may need while they're in town. That's another aspect that, we do. It's a toy drive, yes, but we're trying to help everybody at Children's.
I can't thank you enough for making that point. Yes, I am a social worker beyond Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. And we have families, especially the struggles of current times that, yes, need help in June and July as well. And when many funds have run out. So gift cards for basic needs are incredible. I know they're not maybe the most fun to shop for, but also for our adolescents or our teenagers who might be a little bit more specific about what they would like. They can pick that out on their
doesn't
own.
want a Barbie. Imagine that.
Yes.
Yes, that's true.
Yeah, so the gift cards are incredible throughout the year.
Yes,
absolutely.
Absolutely. So that's all part of it. All right. Did I cover everything I needed to cover, Amanda, or did I miss anything?
I think you did a great job, and I'm just so glad to be here. Thank you for having me.
Well, thank you. Maybe we can make this a yearly tradition.
That'd be great.
Amanda Schlosser, Children's Wisconsin. Thanks so much for hanging out. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right. There is Amanda joining us out here at the Toy Drive. Again, 19th annual Toy Drive. Come on out here to Children's Wisconsin. Come hang out. Donate a toy or two from Toyland inside Blaine's Farm and Fleet on Rawson, a couple minutes east of I-94 here in Oak Creek. We'd love to see you. If you're listening in Wausau, Duluth, Superior, Green Bay, wherever you are, you can donate online as well at wisportsradio.com. Text the word toys to 34984. Everything brought to you by Tri-City National Bank, Steelwind Industries by the Yard, and Metro by T-Mobile as we broadcast from the Bear Sunrooms. And Bear Sunrooms are amazing. They donate this sunroom every year for us so we don't have to freeze outside. Got some heat in here with some space heaters going on, got some light. It is an absolute beautiful thing. So appreciate all of them too. Coming up in the 4 o'clock hour is our green and gold update. We will hear from Matt LaFleur. Do not want to miss that. Plus also the Bears. Oh, the Bears. We got Bears fans that are volunteers out here, Charlie. I don't know what I'm going to do with myself.
It's great.
No, it's not.
It's great for the
really.
Discourse for the week leading up to the game, Sparky.
No.
Come on.
No, and then some dude walks in here wearing a Bear sweatshirt. I was like, hey, man, he kind of like blew me off. And I was like, hey, you're in first place in the NFC. You should be in a better mood. And he started laughing. I'm like, see, now you're happy. Now go buy a toy for the toy drive and we'll be all set. And he started laughing. He bought a toy. He came back with a toy.
Awesome.
It all
See, Bears
worked
fans
out
are
at
nice
the-
too, Sparky.
Some of you. Hey, when the Bucks win, you win at Wendy's. After every Bucks win, stop by any participating Wisconsin Wendy's for a free small vanilla or chocolate frosty classic. This offer is only good for 24 hours after win, so act fast and get that free small frosty classic at Wendy's. And don't forget about those chicken tendies. I had them for lunch. They brought me some tendies, a Dr. Pepper, a fry, barbecue sauce, sat in my car, ate it all. It was delicious. delicious. I tell you, go to Wendy's. Coming up next, we'll hear from Matt LaFleur here on Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's, live from Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Sparky here. Welcome back. It is Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's. How y'all doing here on a Monday? I'll tell you how I'm doing. I'm doing great. My favorite week of the year. Broadcasting live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook at the 19th annual Toy Drive for Children's Wisconsin and Robin's Nest. Again, we're out here collecting toys all week long, 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. each and every day. We got volunteers from all over the place helping us collect toys and cash as people are walking in and out of Blaine's Farm and Fleet and going to check out Toyland. Oh, buddy, Toyland. It's a kid's ultimate dream. I'm telling you, they got everything in Toyland inside Blaine's Farm and Fleet here in Oak Creek on Rawson Avenue. If you can't make it down, have no fear. You can also donate online at wisportsradio.com. Snow coming down here in Oak Creek. So if you're not wanting to drive in the snow or so forth, I totally get it. Rest of the week looks good, so you can come down one of the other days during the week. I'll be out here each and every day from 2 to 5 p.m. And again, thanks to 9 to noon with Coon earlier today. Rami Makloff was out here doing that show. Then noon to 2, Mason Crosby was here with Mitch Thunder Nellis. Let me explain to you, it's rare that Mason Crosby is around these parts doing this. When you are living in Nashville and come up here to snow, again, I mean, that's why you live in Nashville, is to get away from the snow after you lived here your whole career. I get it. So Mason Crosby was here for the toy drive today, which was awesome, him and Thunder. And then obviously this show 2 to 5. Got to say thanks to my boy, Peacock. Jack Pembroke has been going since about 5 a.m. this morning and is here till 6:30 tonight, just doing his thing and doing it strong and doing it well. Michael Cash, another one of our promotions people out here too. So it's been a great day out here and still trying to fill a couple of boxes. We got one box filled so far today. That's it. Only one, which is good. It's better than none, right? But you'll understand throughout the course of the week, I get greedy, I get depressed, I get down on myself that we're not going to make our goal of filling that semi. I do it every year, and somehow or another, sometimes we figure this out before Friday. So hopefully we'll be able to do that again today. Time now for the Green and Gold Update.
It's time for your Green and Gold Update on Wisconsin Sports Daily, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network with Steve Sparky Pfeiffer.
All right, time for our Green and Gold Update. Let's get to cuts from our guy, Matt LaFleur, Packers head coach, talking about Devonte Wyatt's injury. Looks like he's done for the year and the impact on the defense.
I think everything's up in the air, but I certainly think we have confidence in the guys that have been playing and doing a good job. Certainly it'd be nice to get Carl Brooks back out there. And then the two young guys are going to have to get a little bit more reps with Brinson and Stack. And so, we'll handle it that way.
That is season ending, Matt.
It is, unfortunately.
What was the difference you saw in Devontae this year versus his earlier season? It seems his production.
Yeah, well, there's no doubt his production has been a lot better. I think he's played more than in years past. I don't know what the percentage of play time is, but he certainly has gotten more opportunities. And then when he was in there, he was being very disruptive, both in the run game and in the pass game. And, I think how I feel about that position is it typically takes a little bit of time and, it can take a couple of years before guys really hit their stride. And I think what's unfortunate is he's definitely playing the best ball of his career.
Explain this to me. You played a position like other big fat guys.
Yeah.
What takes so long for a defensive tackle to understand the nuances of playing that position? This I don't know. I'm not being a smart aleck. I'm being honest, because I get why a wide receiver would struggle for the first couple of years, because you have to be on the same page with the quarterback. You have to run routes way more precise than you probably ever did in high school or college, and trying to figure out all the different defensive looks you're going to get in a secondary. And I totally understand why that takes longer. I do not understand defensive tackle. Please explain.
So with defensive tackle, and some guys may not like to hear this, but that's the lowest threshold to go in and be a football player. It's really kind of the least complicated position on the defense, maybe even on the field besides a kicker. And some kickers even have more complicated jobs in some schemes than a defensive tackle. Really, it's kind of going left or right, and a lot of big guys can just go in and be defensive tackles a lot of the time. Now, the problem is when you want to be an elite defensive tackle, if you want to even just be a really good defensive tackle, that's where it's a lot harder to take that next step because it's so much easier to get into that there's kind of a lower threshold there. But to be great amongst all these other guys doing what you can do, you have to take a really large step and be able to run some of these slants and stunts that these coaches are trying to put out on defense. For a wide receiver, the threshold to be great is a lot higher, but once you hit kind of that Pro Bowl threshold, you're good. You're solid for the rest of the time. For defensive tackles, to beat Aaron Donald, it takes years and years and years of dedication to perfecting that kind of baseline craft.
You know, that's the one thing too when we start talking about who's going to take this position. And we can talk about Devontae White and being able to get to the quarterback. What's Devontae White on a good year? It's going to get you what, 8 sacks, 9 sacks.
Solid.
That's really right, and that's really good from that position. I'm not saying it's not, but the one thing we do know was the last time this dude went out this year, what happened? They started to have some issues stopping the run a little bit. Not like they were getting gashed necessarily, but they weren't doing it as well as when they had Devontae White. And now what? Now you have 2 of the 3 next weeks, a team that just wants to run and run and run and run and run, the Chicago Bears, because they don't like their quarterback, which, again, a lot of people don't like their quarterback. But
he has more Pro Bowl votes than Jordan Love right now, by the way.
Well, that's good. It's fans. Chicago's bigger.
So more people like him than Jordan Love.
Okay, fine. But my point still remains the same. They want to run the ball and take it out of their quarterback's hands, which they should because they redid their offensive line this year. They spent a lot of money there in free agency to get it redone. It's working. It's one of the best offensive lines in the National Football League. So you're going to have to stop the damn run at the end of the day. Enter Warren Brinson, who is a young cat that the Packers just drafted. And he also has been stepping up here in the last couple of weeks. Matt LaFleur talked about him.
He's earned more opportunity, and I think that's a credit to him. And I think DC and VO and Wendell all do a great job with that room. And so he's earned those ops.
We talk about what is going to happen with this defense. Charlie went through the Matt LaFleur presser from earlier and he made cuts. The one cut I do not see, probably because it wasn't asked, how does the run defense change going into this game? Meaning, like, will there be more? Do you think it'll be more run blitzes going into this game? Do you think it'll be more of a heavy box going into this game? Like, to me, and I don't know if Matt LaFleur would tell you that. Probably not. He probably size them like, I'm not telling you what our scheme is going into this game. But you would have to think going into this game, it's going to be similar to how the Lions play every week, which is heavier box. Evan Williams, far more active up in the box than he is on most weeks to try and slow down the run to make Caleb Williams essentially beat you with his arm because he's not going to beat many people with his arm, at least not to this point. Now, maybe he does it and goes off this week and has a career day and you stop the running game to under 100 yards, but he throws for 300. Well, okay, if that's what happens, you live with it. But you don't want to give up 250 yards on the ground, and Caleb Williams doesn't have to pass for more than $150 in order to win the game. And now without Devontae Wyatt, that's where I think schematically you have to start figuring out how are we going to make up for this loss.
It's going to be a really interesting process, especially with Evan Williams, like you said, having to come down into the box. The last time they had to do that was against the Panthers, and he was the guy who hit the wrong gap on the final dagger run by Rico Dowdle.
Right.
That was kind of the biggest issue and the one thing that I noticed right away on that play. So if he's going to come in and have to be that option again, I'm sure Jeff Hafley's going to have him more ready to be in this position. It's about him executing. Now, while Matt LaFleur didn't answer directly how the run defense is going to have to change, he did answer a question on what it's like facing DeAndre Swift and Kyle Monangai in this game. Here's Matt LaFleur.
Yeah, I think these two backs are really good. I think, allows those guys to stay fresh. If somebody's really having a great day, you can kind of feed the hot hand. Obviously, they had 2 guys to go over 100 yards in an NFL game. That's pretty rare. So I think it's a credit to really everybody. I think their offensive line, they've certainly added some pieces up front. I think those tight ends, they block their ass off, and I think the receivers get involved in the run game as well. So it's a collection of all of those guys, and it's going to be a great challenge because, I mean, they're the best in the league right now at doing it.
Can we talk about those 2 running backs for a second? Bears
Sure.
fan Charlie?
Yeah.
Chicago Charlie?
Yeah, let's go for it.
Swift's not the better running back.
No, I never thought he was.
Between those two, he's not the better running back. He shouldn't be starting. He's not the more talented of the 2 running backs. He's starting because, he played under Ben Johnson in Detroit. I get that. He's a vet. He's athletic. I get all that. But that Monangai, or however you say his name, that cat is uber talented.
He's tough. He's really tough. DeAndre Swift was a player last season, before that season, when they signed him. I was a little frustrated with that signing. I felt like they overpaid him, first of all, and thought that if they were going to go after a running back, there was plenty of just elite running backs out in the market that they could have gone after. Saquon Barkley and Derrick Henry were two examples that season. And I think that going into this year, with Ben Johnson, I was a little bit more excited. With a better offensive line, I was a little more excited. But I also know DeAndre Swift has traditionally been kind of an offensive line merchant, a guy that feeds off his offensive line having to be one of the top 5 in the league in order for him to be a productive running back. Kyle Monangai doesn't look like he is that type of player. He looks like he's going to be able to hit the holes hard no matter what and not drop on first contact. He kind of reminds me a lot of Josh Jacobs when I'm watching him right now. And that's a really high kind of honor to be put into that position.
Is he faster than Jacobs? I feel like he looks faster.
He has a little bit of a burst at the end of his runs that I think Josh Jacobs doesn't have anymore. But when Josh Jacobs was younger, when he was before the injuries, he had that kind of burst.
It's Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's. Steve Sparky Pfeiffer with you. Charlie Usen, Chicago Charlie producing. He's back in Ales Corners. I'm at Blaine's Farm and Fleet in Oak Creek on Rawson, just a couple minutes east of 94. Come on out, see us 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. each day this week. King's Catering Food Truck is here from Oak Creek. Come check it out. It is awesome, and it is very cool looking as well. Food responders is what it's labeled like. It all looks like an old fire truck or whatever sitting outside here. They got the beef brisket sandwiches going on today. They got pulled pork sandwiches going on today. They got a couple of different sides going on today. And you know what the best thing about all of that is? As I was saying the food and what it was, Charlie was smiling and closing his eyes every time I said a food option.
You're making my stomach growl over here, Sparky. That's just
man,
love it,
so
man.
Good. It's so good. So come on out here. Check out King's Catering Food Truck. They'll be out here each day this week from 4 until 6 o'clock, Monday through Friday. Come on out. These guys are amazing. The guy that runs it is Steve Wilding, who was at the fire station across the street here in Oak Creek at Blaine's Farm and Fleet. And every year, at the beginning of this toy drive years ago, we'd be outside in a tent, no heat, whatever. And then eventually we would get propane heat and so forth. But every year on Friday, he'd come over in the afternoon, like 4 o'clock, and set up this table full of food with burners and all of this and all kinds of fancy food. I was like, hey, man, y'all need to start a catering company. When you're done, you need to go do this. And he retired and he did it, and he is cleaning up because his food is amazing. So definitely want to check that out too. All right, back to Matt LaFleur we go. It is our green and gold update powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Let's hear what he has to say about Anthony Belton and the job he did against the Lions. Now, when we looked at the Pro Football Focus numbers, he gave up like 6 or 7 pressures in this game, which is not necessarily a good thing. But when you talk about Belton and the massive humanity that he is, you're hoping that you can get going on the ground behind his big wide butt with any one of your running backs that you may have running behind him. What did Matt LaFleur see?
He did a solid job. I thought he did a good job. It wasn't perfect. It never is going to be. There were a couple moments where, I think that he'll learn from and get better from. But I thought all in all, he brings a level of physicality to, and obviously his size alone, that there's a lot of good with him in there.
I just think at this point, there's no need to go back to Jordan Morgan. There's no need to rotate Jordan Morgan. Now, I've heard the idea of rotating Jordan Morgan with Rasheed Walker. That came up, I think, on Friday when we were talking about the Packers game on Friday after the game was over on Thursday. I don't know if I'm 1,000% against it, but I'm probably 999% against it at this point. Unless, as a coaching staff, you are convinced that he is not worse than Rasheed Walker at left tackle. Unless you're like, Sparky, I promise you, he will be as good as Rasheed Walker. Putting him in on Sunday, he'll do just as good if we rotate him. If you're going to promise me that, Matt LaFleur and coaching staff, I'll listen. But if you can't promise me that, and I don't think you can, then no can do. Then you wait until preseason next year and training camp, and you figure it out then. Because I am not getting Jordan Love killed from the blind side. It's one thing when he can't stop anybody at right guard and Love can see what's coming at him. Love can't see what's coming at him. You're going to get the guy's back broken. So I'm not interested in playing this game unless, again, they are 1,000% certain that this is not going to backfire.
Which is kind of frustrating with Jordan Morgan, because if you're not 100% confident in his ability to go out there and be the left tackle for this team, even right now, season and a half into his career when he's gotten playing time, he's been around now for a little while. I mean, why did you draft him in the first round? Like
to play left tackle. That's why they drafted
him.
But
they don't want him to be a left tackle. They're not 100% confident. I mean, just do it. If you're going to do it, you're not bringing back Rasheed Walker. I mean, right now, the pass protection has deteriorated a little bit since the beginning of the season, and Jordan Love is just amazing when it comes to pressure in his face so far this season. You might as well try something else, just like you took him out of the right guard position to throw Anthony Belton in there.
Charlie, what if it's Jordan Love at left tackle? What if Goody drafted him knowing he was going to be the starter when Rasheed Walker's contract was up, knowing they'd have to figure something out if need be between now and then, but the plan was to get him coached up and ready to step into that role when Rasheed Walker's contract was up? What if that was the plan when they drafted him, knowing he wasn't going to get to play till Walker was done, but then he's going to be the left tackle for the next decade? What if that was the plan and they just didn't communicate it?
My next question then again, is then why is he playing right guard? Like, why is he even at the guard position? If you want him to be this tackle of the future, you want him to work there. If you really feel that confident in him and you just want him to rest a little bit or have a couple seasons off like Jordan Love, go for it. Leave him there. Don't even play him at right guard then. Don't bother with that. But the fact that they did tells me that they are not confident in him being the left tackle right now. Or honestly, in the next couple of years.
Yep, he is Charlie Usens. See Sparky Pfeiffer with you. That'll do it for the Green and Gold Update, brought to you by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. And thanks for tuning in. Thanks for listening today. Let me tell you about my good old friends over there at Wendy's. I told you about them before the last break. Chicken tenders, man. They dropped some off today. I told you, I'm ordering it in front of the double stacks now. They are so good. Like the first order we got, I was like, man, these are really good. And then I had them again today. Man, they're even better than I thought they were the first time I ate them. They are so good, man. In a world of tenders, Wendy's decided to make something more juicier, more crispier, and more dippable. New chicken tenders are here. Some may call them tendies. I do. And yes, it's fun to say and even more fun to eat. And Wendy's new chicken tendies come with an insane new sauce lineup. New Wendy's signature, new sweet chili, or new scorching hot. Or choose one of the classics, honey barbecue, creamy ranch, or honey mustard. Whatever you choose, they're the perfect vessel to dip all your tendies in. Wendy's new chicken tenders are so juicy, crispy, and dippable, you'll remember them forever. Gotta have tendies. It's gotta be Wendy's. Out here at the 19th Annual Toy Drive for Children's Wisconsin and Robin's Nest. If you are able to make it out here, that would be wonderful between now and Friday. Otherwise, donate online at wisportsradio.com. You can also text the word toys to 34984. That's toys to 34984. It's all brought to you by Tri-City National Bank, Steelwind Industries, By the Yard, and Metro by T-Mobile as we broadcast from the Bear Sun Room. Coming up next, the Bears are doing something nobody thought. They might be good. Yeah, we'll talk about it next. Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's, live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Sparky here. Welcome in. We are live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Steve Sparky Pfeiffer here. Charlie Usen back there. We are out here at the snowy Oak Creek location at Blaine's Farm and Fleet in Oak Creek, as you just heard on Rawson Avenue, collecting toys and cash donations until 6 o'clock today. Each day of this week, 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. We'll have this very show from 2 to 5 every day out here at Blaine's Farm and Fleet inside of our beautiful Bear sunrooms. And again, you can't make it. You're listening in Wausau or Duluth, Superior, Green Bay. No problem. You can go online at wisportsradio.com to make a donation that way for Children's Wisconsin and Robin's Nest, or text the word TOYS, TOYS, to 34984. Text TOYS to 34984. That will all get accounted for in our toy drive, our 19th year of doing this toy drive this year. So looking forward to that. All right, we're going to have Jeff Stewart, VP and COO of Children's Wisconsin Foundation, coming up here in the last segment, in case Sparky and what Sparky missed segment, coming up at 4:40. Also this week, John Greenberg, president of the Milwaukee Admirals, he'll be out here tomorrow afternoon. President/GM of the Milwaukee Brewers, Matt Arnold, will be out here Wednesday at 3:30 at the Toy Drive, helping us out. We are efforting Peter Fagan of the Milwaukee Bucks, who normally comes out here every year too. We have not heard back. I know they were talking to Peter and trying to figure out where in his schedule he could come out. So hopefully we'll have Peter Fagan of the Bucks out here. I got to reach out to my guy, John McLaughlin of the Milwaukee Bucks. He normally comes out every year too. So we'll continue to have guests out here throughout the week. Let's talk about this Bears team. They hammered the Eagles on Black Friday, which is pretty good. Are you convinced that they are the best team in the NFC? By record-wise, they are the best team in the NFC. But are you convinced, watching football games yourself, that they are the best team in the NFC right now? Nicolay Law talking text line 414-677-1250, 414-677-1250. You can also get us on social media live on X and on YouTube at WI Sports Radio, and would love to talk to you that way too. Okay, so I'm going to go to the Bears fan first, Chicago Charlie. And you'll be happy to know I've been surrounded by Bears fans out here in Oak Creek. I had a couple of volunteers that are Bears fans. I've seen people walking in with Bears crap on as well. And I don't really care if you're a Bears fan or not. If you donate toys to our toy drive, we're good. I won't hold it against you whatsoever. Charlie Usen, I don't know if you were all the way in and sold that this was the best team in the NFC prior to that Eagles game. Now, having seen what they did to the Eagles on Black Friday, and I had the great fortune of getting to watch you get excited and chair dance and shimmy your shoulders and all that throughout the game. That was an experience. And he was sober while doing all of it. Charlie, your thoughts now on the Bears. Do you think they're the best team in the NFC? Rams lost. The Rams was a team that everybody thought was the best team. They just got beat by the Panthers.
Panthers are just David, though. Like every other team is Goliath compared to them, and they just take down Goliath for some reason and lose to other teams.
I mean, I heard people in LA really aren't sports fans, but I would imagine if they are, Sean McVay's probably asking to be fired. Stafford's too old. He should retire, because that's the same crap that I heard about the Panthers beating the Packers. Oh, my God, the world was ending. And I'm on the radio going, look at their numbers and their stats. Like, they're not as bad as y'all are making them out to be. They're not the Browns. This is a pretty decent football team, at least 500, and they continue to play that way. And Dave Canales deserves a lot of credit for Carolina for developing Bryce Young, getting that ground game going. Rico Dowdell, they didn't want him in Dallas. He turned into something. Chuba Hubbard is back. He finally looked like himself this last game. They are coming, and they are real. But my point is, the Rams just got beat by a team that everybody thought that they should be able to beat. They lost to one of those teams too. So I don't really know who the best team in the NFC is. Record-wise, it says it's your Bears.
And I mean, opponent-wise, they took down the Philadelphia Eagles, which felt like a team that, unless they were having a bad day, are really hard to beat. And yes, they've had more bad days than not this season compared to like last year when we were watching the Philadelphia Eagles. But that game felt like, from the Chicago Bears, that it wasn't a perfect game, that the passing offense was nowhere near where it needed to be, that occasionally on defense they had lapses in the pass game as well, especially Jalen Johnson coming back for the first time after being injured. It felt like that this team went out there and still dominated despite not playing a perfect football game. And if I were any other fan of any other team in the NFC, I'd be a little bit worried about the Chicago Bears team, especially, again, after a whooping of the Philadelphia Eagles. That felt like they dominated that game. Again, I know Saquon Barkley isn't what he has been the past few years. I know the offensive line hasn't been nearly as good, but they still have a great quarterback. They still have a great wide receiver room, and they still have a really solid athletic defense. That's a good Philadelphia Eagles team that the Packers couldn't do the same thing that the Bears did against. This is something where I think if you're looking in at the Chicago Bears, it's taken a long time to get to this point, but yeah, they're for real now.
It's funny. I said before that game started, Charlie and I were talking. I was like, well, if y'all lay a whooping on the Eagles, everybody's going to have to take you seriously. I'm like, okay, we're going to have to deal with them. Like they're going to be a problem. If they played the Eagles close and lost, I think you would get some of the same respect, right? If they got hammered by the Eagles, everybody like, yep,
it's over.
Paper Tiger. That's what we thought. Paper Tiger. No, they are what we thought they were. They're not
Bears
very
fans
good. They were to be right. That's exactly what it had been. So you hammer the Eagles, you dominate the line of scrimmage both ways, really, if you think about it. You have a great play caller in Ben Johnson, which we knew coming in. This wasn't a surprise. Coach circles around Vic Fangio for Philadelphia. And then the defensive coordinator, Dennis Allen, may not be a great head coach, but has always been a decent defensive coordinator. Did a really good job of slowing down Philadelphia in that game. And again, you said, well, maybe Saquon Barkley slowed down. I think that offensive line is imploded.
Tank
I
Bigsby
can't.
looks a little better again behind that offensive line than Saquon Barkley has this season. So I don't know if
Yeah,
it's 100% the offensive line. Yeah, it's a weaker group, but I mean, Saquon looks like he's lost a step for some reason.
Yep. So that, or there's not a threat there either. So maybe this isn't about going through Philadelphia and the NFC like us Packer fans have been talking about, right? It's like, okay, you're going to have to go through Philly if you're going to go win this thing. Well, maybe not. Maybe it's you have to go through the Rams. Maybe you have to go through LA. Maybe you do end up having to go through Chicago in order to get to a Super Bowl. You're going to have to go beat them. But think about it this way, Packer fans. You beat the Bears, and now all of a sudden you're in a position to be the 1 seed. You're in a position all of a sudden to potentially be the 1 seed going into the playoffs when some of you wanted to fire the coaching staff, fire the GM, get rid of the quarterback and everything else just a few weeks ago. And now, looky here, if the Packers just win a majority of their games on the way out, say they beat the Bears both times, and then beat the Vikings at the end, that's 3 wins, and win one of Denver or Baltimore, you're potentially in a position to be the 1 seed in the NFC. And then all of a sudden you get a bye, and it has to come through Green Bay when nobody would have seen it coming for a majority of the year.
It just feels like at this point in the season, though, the fact that the Bears got their losses out of the way pretty early in the season, besides the Baltimore Ravens loss that they had, it looks like they've just found their groove here. The Packers have this tendency, again, and these past 3 weeks have shown that they can kind of get out of that, draw themselves out of that, but they drop back down for some reason randomly. And if you have to constantly reset and take that extra step back in order to go 3 steps forward, you're always going to be behind the team that just keeps taking steps forward. And right now, the Green Bay Packers have to look at what they did last week against the Detroit Lions and say, you know what? We can't let the Bears be this intimidating factor because they haven't been that for the past 15 seasons. You need to go out there and show that you are the Green Bay Packers and that the Bears still have a lot of room to grow and that you can be this team that is also consistently moving forward like the Bears are at this moment.
I think most of the year Packer fans looked at that Bears game coming up and said, those are 2 wins. And then Bears fans would say, you won 1 game last year. What do you mean we're 2 wins? What are you talking about?
By a fingertip, too. 1 game by a fingertip.
Mm-hmm. Yes, correct. But that is the conversation that I think most people were having all year. Well, now the Packers all of a sudden are 3-0 in the division, have not lost a division game. And now look at a Bears team that are sitting in first place in the NFC. And now it's completely different because now it's, okay, we play you once here. Whoever loses this game, coming up this weekend, 325 kick. Whoever loses this game will have the weight of the world on their shoulders 2 weeks later on a Saturday when they play each other again. Like there is going to be a lot of pressure on that losing team in 2 weeks, regardless of what happens in the game in between. Everything is going to be on that game. So regardless if you're the Packers or the Bears, you're in a situation here where I'm not saying this is must win because you can rebound and get the game 2 weeks after that, but you definitely want to be the team ahead by a game and ahead on the tiebreaker going into that second game, because then it comes down to coaching and who's going to make the adjustments and who's going to do their thing. Jeff Hafley has only coached against Ben Johnson once. Now, if I remember correctly, he did pretty good in that second game, and it worked out. It worked out okay for Jeff Hafley. So we'll see how Hafley does against this Bears team. Again, coming into this, traditional Packers defense under Jeff Hafley means we're not rushing a bunch of people. We're going to bring guys up. We're going to play the run. And let's see if Caleb Williams can beat us with his arm, because we're not going to blitz from all angles and have him run upfield 30 yards. So we're going to sit back here and make him essentially dink and doink his way down the field like people want to do to Jordan Love, Charlie.
That should be the plan, honestly, for the Chicago Bears, to kind of get this run game going and then find the ways to open it up in the pass game that way. At the same time, I think that the Chicago Bears and Ben Johnson, a guy who is one of the most creative minds on offense in football right now, is going to also go into this game and say, you know what? The Packers are pretty weak at cornerback. You know what? Their run game, their run defense isn't going to be as strong without a Devontae Wyatt. How about we take a couple more shots downfield with the play action game and find a way to incorporate our rookie tight end that is all of a sudden so hot for this team and get Roma Dunze back going into this game, because we feel like we can take apart their defensive backs if given the opportunity. I think this is a situation where, yeah, you want to force them into just being confined and forcing Caleb Williams to be confined. But if you give him even an ounce of confidence that he can get the ball downfield, that's what Caleb Williams thrives off of. He needs that momentum in order to be a good quarterback, and you don't want to give it to him early in that game either at the same time.
Correct. And that's exactly what it is confidence early for that Bears team. I mean, in a realistic world, you want the Packers to be that team that gets out in front and stomps on them. All right, take a quick timeout, come back. We'll get to Jeff Stewart, the man, the myth, the legend. He's been here every year of the toy drive for Children's Wisconsin and for Robin's Nest, and we'll talk to him straight ahead and things that Sparky missed, brought to you by the Milwaukee Admirals. Here on Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's, live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook, the 19th annual toy drive for Children's Wisconsin and Robin's Nest at Blaine's Farm and Fleet in Oak Creek on Rawson Avenue. Welcome back. And we are out here, as she said, at Blade's Farm and Fleet in Oak Creek. Thanks so much for hanging out with us and being a part of this. The snow is flying a little bit. So if you're like, man, I don't want to drive from Grafton down to Oak Creek with the snow flying, whatever else. Hey, man, I get it. I got no problem with you. We're out here all week, Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. You can always come out here and be a part of it. If you're listening in different parts of the state, whether it be on the game in Wausau or the game in Duluth Superior, WNFL in Green Bay on 99.7 FM. You could also help and donate that way, wisportsradio.com. Make a donation online. That's always welcome too. Joining us now, as one person in the Bear Sunroom said, the man, the myth, the legend.
Overselling it a little bit, but that's okay.
That's what she said. I didn't say it. She said that. I love you, but that's a whole nother level right there. Jeff Stewart, again, of the Children's Foundation, president, CEO, or vice president, COO. So you and I've been telling people this all day. You, I, and Ryan McGuire, who now conveniently enough is with Westwood One and does the Monday Night Football, Thursday Night Football, Sunday Night Football, and all that stuff. We were sitting in a conference room at our radio station, and it was his idea to start this thing. And he was like, hey, man, we got to do something with the charity. And he said, what about, is there a children's in this area? I was like, yeah, there's children's. All right, we're going to do something with them. So he reaches out, gets a meeting with you. And that was 19 years ago, Jeff.
Yep, I remember it well, sitting planning this out.
Yeah.
And had grand plans, and who would have ever thought it would have turned into the huge success that it is.
Yeah, no. I mean, the first year we were in a tent, no heat, freezing,
That was
air's
pretty rough.
blowing under
That
the
was pretty
tent.
rough.
I mean, you thought we were crazy too. We had
Yeah.
snowstorms that week. Like, it was brutal. We did like $7,000 in toys and cash or whatever else. We were pretty happy with ourselves because at that point, nobody knew. You know, back at that point, our radio station in Milwaukee even existed because we were just on the air for a little over a year, 2 years, whatever it was. To see where it is now, which is awesome. But yes, we have obviously grown the toy drive. But Children's Wisconsin, first of all, wasn't Children's Wisconsin. It was just Children's Hospital. Now it's Children's Wisconsin. And all those buildings and all that structures weren't there 19 years ago when we started this, Jeff. So
We've
you
grown
all,
a little bit.
You
We've
all
grown a
have
little
changed
bit.
too.
Yes, absolutely. We want to get bigger and better to serve the kids of Wisconsin. And the changing our name to Children's Wisconsin was to send a signal. We're serving the state of Wisconsin. A couple of months ago, we opened up a mental health urgent care clinic in Green Bay.
Oh,
we
look at
have
you.
one of those in Kenosha.
Yes, I know about K-Towns.
We're kind of spreading our wings and making sure that the kids get the care that they need.
Bears fans in Kenosha, you're helping. That's nice of you.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's nice of you. At the end of the day, I grew up in Kenosha. I can give you all a bunch of heck if I want to. It's Bears fans and Packer fans, and then there's some Vikings fans in Kenosha. But for the most part, because it's a bunch of Chicago transplants that live in Kenosha.
Sure.
That's
For
really what it
convenience,
is.
yeah.
Which is fine. Whatever. I was telling Nancy Corum earlier when she was on about the idea of that emergency room being moved. And how it has made my life a lot easier and others, because you would go in there and then park in a different area and then have to navigate your way through the hospital to find the emergency room. You tell me in the last year or so some of the additions there at the location in Tosa that you're proud of.
Yeah, well, the emergency room tops them.
Yeah.
So it used to be in the back of the building in a shared space. Now we have our own emergency room, which is right at the front door of the hospital. You can't miss it. Valet parking. So convenience and a much better clinical space to serve kids and make sure that they can get better. As I mentioned, we opened the two mental health urgent care clinics. The Craig Yabuki Tower, which is adjacent to the emergency room, is all outpatient spaces and designed around the family. So
I have a question.
Yes.
Who is Craig Yabuki, or what's his name?
So Craig Yabuki
I can't say that, but we'll go with it.
Yep, is the brother of Jeff Yabuki. He's the former chairman and CEO of Fiserv.
Oh, okay.
Craig Yabuki is his brother who actually committed suicide and passed away.
Not
so
good.
it's in his honor.
Okay.
And it houses the Craig Yabuki Mental Health Center. So Jeff,
what's in that?
So that includes the urgent care center, our outpatient counseling services, and all of our mental health resources.
All in there.
Yes,
Wow,
in
that's good
one
stuff.
space.
That didn't exist 19 years
Correct.
ago.
No,
none
no.
of that was there 19
No.
years ago when we started this. Mental health in general wasn't a thing 19 years ago.
Right.
People did not talk about that 19 years ago.
Yep. And now we're really working to reduce the stigma around mental health and receiving care for that, and creating these places where people can go. So we have a walk-in clinic right in that Craig Ibuki Tower.
Perfect.
And if you have a mental health crisis with your child, you can walk in there without an appointment and receive care. And one of the biggest barriers is getting an appointment or getting to, we're trying to remove those barriers and provide access to those services.
How busy is it?
It started out fairly slow because people didn't know about it,
Right.
right? That like what we're doing now is we're helping get the word out
Right.
that this is available, right? We know that there are mental health crises going on all over our city. And so helping people know that it's there and available for them is important. So it's been growing as
Good.
that word has gotten out.
Yeah, that's what we're here for, right? Spread the word as well. At the 19th annual toy drive for Children's Wisconsin and Robin's Nest, Steve Sparky Pfeiffer, along with Jeff Stewart. He's the man, the myth, the legend, and he's been doing this with me for 19 years now, and I appreciate every moment in time. This always, every year, is the first full week after Thanksgiving. Next year will be year 20. I'm not sure what we're going to do for year 20, but it'll be
Something
something
special.
Something.
Yes.
I don't know what, but we'll figure something out. But it always aligns with Giving Tuesday, seemingly, each and
Yes.
every year, and it
Yes.
does this year too.
It does, which happens tomorrow, which is a magical day of giving and generosity from our community. It's a day to reflect and to contribute to charities across
All charities.
all charities,
Right.
right? It's not unique. We certainly participate and we certainly appreciate the public support of everything that we do.
So from that aspect, is that your largest donor day usually every year, or are there other days?
From
that
a
surpass
broad-based perspective, absolutely, it's our largest
Really?
individual like giving day outside of an event.
that? So do you guys do anything special from the inside for Giving Tuesday?
So we have sponsors and match donors that help match. So you give tomorrow, your donation is going to be matched.
Really?
And so that's a big benefit. So
Yeah.
you're basically doubling your contribution when you give on Giving Tuesday due to those generous matching donors.
So what does Jeff Stewart worry about? What does Jeff Stewart
Oh.
stress about?
How much time
right
do you
now?
have?
I got lots of time. I'm your mental health expert, Steve Sparky Pfeiffer. I'm
Yeah.
joking completely, but go ahead.
I think it's making sure we have as many opportunities for people to connect with us as people want, right? Making sure we generate long-term relationships with the community and all those people that want to support us. All the people that come here to support the toy drive, they want a relationship with Children's Hospital. We want to thank them and we want to generate that relationship. So we got to make sure we're out there in a lot of different spaces.
You know what I think next year? I think you should sit out here with me from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. for a full day and hear all the stories of these people. They walk in. I mean, I know you know the stories, but you go out there and you have somebody that walks in and says, "Oh yeah, I spent many years here." I was like, "Oh really? Well, can you tell me more?" Yeah, my 14-year-old now has had 33 surgeries here. 33 surgeries. Yeah. And you hear all these different stories. People that work at Children's Wisconsin coming in here. "Oh, I work there." And you're right. I know this person? Nope. Okay. I work there. And they come out and they donate toys or whatever the case may be. Grandparents. "Oh, my grandson's in Children's right now. I'd be more than happy to help." You probably do realize to a certain degree, but to me, who's done this 19 years, every year I'm amazed that I hear new stories from different people about different situations and how big of an impact that truly has. And I don't think a lot of people that don't have children realize how big of an impact that Children's Wisconsin has on, like you said, the entire state, not just southeastern Wisconsin.
Yeah. And we're there when you need us, right?
Because I would assume, we talked about the Ronald McDonald House earlier, people coming in from out of state, but you get people, I'm sure, from all over the state of
country.
Wisconsin
Yeah,
that
for
come
sure.
down here for surgeries or medicine, and then they stay at the Ronald McDonald House that aren't from this area.
Absolutely. Actually, around the country, we have
Yes.
specialty programs, certainly in our Herma Heart Institute and others, where people are traveling because they know about our outcomes and our specialties.
Yeah.
And so we have a broad reach.
It really is awesome. He is Jeff Stewart. And again, my thanks to him for coming out here. And again, Vice President of Children's Foundation. And of course, he is the COO of Children's Foundation as well at Wisconsin Children's Wisconsin. I can say it's the end of the day. I'm sorry. Jeff, thank you.
Yeah, I appreciate, and this is one of my favorite days,
My favorite
and weeks every year.
Yep.
Appreciate everything you're doing and everything your listeners, customers of Blaine's Farm and Fleet, everyone really appreciate all the support.
It really is cool. And I love being out here and love being a part of the thing and look forward to it every year. And again, we're out here every day, 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. all week long. You can donate online, wisportsradio.com. You can text TOYS, TOYS, to 34984. 34984. It's all brought to you all week long by Tri-City National Bank, Steelwind Industries, By the Yard, Metro by T-Mobile, and of course this beautiful sunroom, the Bear Sunroom, going on every day from 4 to 6. King's Catering from Oak Creek. Their food truck is out here. The Food Responders looks like a fire truck that's sitting out here at Blaine's Farm and Fleet, serving meals all week long. Come on out here. All proceeds, the money you give them, will go straight to Children's Wisconsin. They don't take food costs. Everything goes towards Children's Wisconsin. I appreciate those guys for being out here every day. They were out here last year too. Today it's brisket and pulled pork sandwiches. If you're interested in that, they got a couple of different sides too. So make sure to be out here and be a part of that as well. Tomorrow, back out here again from 2 to 5. I'll be out here helping to collect toys all day, along with the great volunteers from Children's Wisconsin. That's the other aspect. Years ago, when we started this, we didn't necessarily have the volunteers, so the radio station was kind of doing everything ourselves. And now in the last couple of years, all the volunteers from not only Children's Wisconsin, but from different sponsors and stuff has been amazing.
Yep. Just the generosity and outpouring, not only of financial contributions, the in-kind contributions, and the volunteerism is awesome.
Awesome. Nancy Korma's out here today. That was awesome having her, Vice President, Chief Nursing Officer for Children's Wisconsin. Amanda Schlosser, social workers for Children's Wisconsin. Of course, Jeff Stewart, the man, the myth, the legend. From now to the end of me ever doing this, that's how I'm introducing him. Forever.
That's it. And I'll be out here for a full day next year.
Full
Just
day for
book me
20 years.
That's it. That's
you and
it.
I are going to hang out
That's
all day
it.
together.
I love it.
We'll do shots at the end of the day. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. Coming up next, Wisconsin Sports Wrap Up with Tommy Words. Have a good night, Wisconsin. Toodles.